What is going on, everybody? It is episode 460 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett. I am here with my co-host. Would you introduce yourself, please?
Hi, Crisis Actors. It's Mary. Today we have a special guest on the show. As you know, it was a long and arduous journey from California for her, so I'm really happy she made it. This is Andrea Mew.
How you doing?
Doing well, and I'm much more awake than I probably should be at this point.
Yeah, it's shocking, honestly, but you have your energy drink. You're good to go.
Yeah.
Tell us about the flight problems, because I'm like,
tell us your woes.
I know. I was like, because I'm up late every night as usual, and I saw you had a story post, and it was like late, and it was like still at the airport. I'm like, wait, are you still stuck at the airport?
Yeah, I'd say I probably only got like an hour's worth of sleep because flights got delayed, and that turns into one delay after the other, and then you end up missing a connection. But I'm not here to talk about my complaints with the airline industry.
We love complaining. What are you talking about? we complain all the time. I think you've spent at least 10 minutes talking about like traveling.
Yes.
And how horrible it is.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Well, I used to love traveling. I don't love traveling anymore. I
like airports.
When I did drugs, I loved airports. I don't do drugs anymore. So it's like there's more anxiety than there was when I was younger. I was,
I can't argue with if I have a long layover, just being able to pace around the airport and maybe listen to a podcast or something.
Unless you have a lot to carry.
I don't even mind it at that point. That's extra weight, so I can just work out even harder.
Don't need a gym.
Get the gains.
This is your take 2 on PCC. You've been on before. When was that? February?
March. Right?
It was around there.
It was a while back. So we've really leveled it up. You'll notice.
Yeah. We got a bunch of stuff to talk about today, ladies and gentlemen. So, there's a lot of wars going on in the world today. There's the war on terror, there's the war on drugs, there's the war on Christmas, and now there's the conservative war on Taylor Swift. I say this because there's actually an article written from the Federalist that's denouncing denouncing Taylor Swift. So we're going to talk about that.
We got a $20 one here from DC&C. Introduce the empty chair, please.
Go for it.
There's the empty chair. How are you doing, empty chair?
Then you're supposed to do.
Good.
Oh, that's the empty chair there. It is kind of work because I leave the laptop there. They can't see that, but there is a laptop there if somebody wanted to sit there. It
wasn't empty yesterday.
No, it was.
How
it was
about I
occupied
just
yesterday.
hop from this chair to that chair and just
Back.
It's not easy to crawl under the table, though.
I'll make it work.
So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about a concerning video that came out at the end of the weekend, last weekend, from Eugenia Cooney, who's got people concerned about her. We'll be talking about that. We'll be talking about the public response, what it means to be in a position like she is with her condition on YouTube, and what it means for the culture. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about emotional support Barbies.
And emotional terrorism.
Yes, emotional terrorism. So the Barbie movie has inspired women to buy emotional. Were there men too? I don't remember if there were men involved.
There were male Mattel employees.
Okay, so emotional support Barbies, because we as adults we have to apparently develop new coping techniques for our very, very stressful lives.
I have
not
stuffed
at war.
animals in my background. Do I have room to talk?
Fair
Honestly,
point.
women be shopping. That's just case in point.
That's what it is.
That's it. Women be shopping.
There you go. So we're going to be talking about that. We're also going to be talking to you a little bit about, you've got a documentary that came out and it's came out today, right?
Correct.
So we're going to be discussing that. It's tell us everybody about what the issue is with it.
Yeah, so this is about female sports. A coach in Oberlin, Ohio, was essentially canceled by her school, removed from her position because she speaks about biological truths, which are extremely beneficial for a woman to know, extremely beneficial for a man to know as well, too. But in 2023, we cannot even address what a woman is.
So what you're saying is like all the single men on the dating apps could be like, I'm here to talk to you about the biological truths of women. And that'll be a big...
I think that could be a big selling point nowadays.
It's like, hey, you wanna discuss what a woman is? And they're like, yes, I would love that. So
we were joking about
validate me.
Yeah,
we were joking about Matt Walsh on the Dancing with the Stars memes the other day, and Brett was like, okay, I made your stupid documentary asking what a woman is. Now let me dance.
He just wants to dance. It's like there's an old rumor that like apparently Wes Craven, he's like fine, I'll make your horror movies, but I want to make a classic love story. They actually wrote it into the movie Scream 3, where Scott Foley's character plays a director. He says, all I wanted was to make a classic love story. The studio said that's fine, I just had to make a scary movie for him first. So Matt Walsh is like, all I wanted was a show about dancing. But the studio said that's fine. Jeremy Boring said that's fine. I just got to make him a movie about what a woman is first.
You know what? If he feels the fire in his feet, let him have it.
Exactly. So I wonder if it would increase, like, what would it do to their, like, to their ad rates and to their viewership if all of a sudden, like, it's one thing if you're doing it, but like he finishes this hard-hitting video about what a woman is, and then the autoplay just goes to him doing a waltz with someone.
It's waltzing with Walsh.
Yes, exactly. Waltzing with Walsh.
Whoa.
That's what we call it. So we got another 21 there from Jake BB.
Greetings all from the land down under. Hope you all are doing well today.
Thank you. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you
that.
for that.
Also, guys, before we get started, would you hit the like button on this video? Would you subscribe?
I just realized it's 3 a.m. over there.
Wow.
Are you okay, buddy? But
Jake-
thanks for watching.
Jake, on my behalf, can you find a wombat today and give him a hug?
You do love wombats,
I do
don't you?
love wombats. Yeah.
Do you listen to the wombats?
I do love the wombats. Yeah.
It's right on brand.
Yeah. Thank my husband for that. He introduced them to me.
Moving to New York. That was the big one. Yeah. So guys, hit the like button on this video. Subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already. Turn the notification bell on so that you can be notified anytime one of these episodes goes live at 3 p.m. or anytime one of the segments gets posted. Also, remember to share these videos with your friends. And remember that all Super Chats, $20 and over, just like the ones that came in from DCNC and Jake BB, we will stop the discussion. We will read them right then and there. And then we will do our level best to get right back on topic and get back to our discussion. So good to go. All right. So now that we've got that out of the way, ladies, are you ready to get started? Mary, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Andrea, are you ready?
Absolutely.
I actually have a special one that I didn't tell you guys about to get started today. I wanted to surprise you guys with this one. This is a big one, ladies and gentlemen. Did you know that Hillary Clinton won an Emmy?
She did?
She just won an Emmy. Yes. Former First Lady, Senator, Secretary of State for the Democratic Party.
For Gutsy?
For a documentary called In Her Hands, a film about the youngest female mayor in the history of Afghanistan.
What?
Yes.
Okay, it should have been for Gutsy with Hillary and Chelsea Clinton and Megan Thee Stallion. Like, that was obviously a masterpiece. Apple TV is overlooked. No one has Apple TV Plus, but like, it's obviously the best thing they ever put out on the platform.
Of course. You know, actually, somebody made a good point the other day. They said, like, everybody keeps whining and complaining about how we don't get anything new. He goes, but nobody has Apple TV. And they actually make new stuff. Like, they actually go out of their way to make new stories. But nobody has Apple TV because nobody cares.
Severance is good.
Yeah,
That's the only reason to get it, but...
So, you know, it says at the ceremony which the Clintons did not attend, it was not publicly revealed which individuals would be receiving statuettes. I'm sure she'll put it up there right next to some like poster of Jeffrey Epstein. It'll be an Emmy statue.
You think she has a personal shrine?
Yes. Or no, it's that picture that they said that they found on Epstein's Island of Bill Clinton in the blue dress. Do you remember that?
What?
Oh,
You ever saw that?
No.
The painting of Bill Clinton in a blue dress.
It's a painting.
It's a painting of. How do I Google this without it being weird?
Maybe you shouldn't.
Hold on.
Maybe we don't need to see it.
Oh no, I'm sure it's safe to find.
It's let's find out here. Yep, here it is.
Oh,
You never saw this one, guys?
okay.
No?
Maybe I did, but I don't
see it?
remember. Yeah, that's not. yeah.
So she can put the statue right up next to that.
Or maybe some like Podesta art.
There you go.
We were just talking about Podesta.
Yeah.
Boy.
All right, guys. And since everyone got mad yesterday about our Britney Spears topic, I thought I would let them know that Britney Spears claims that her team rented knives from a prop store and her begs her fans to stop calling the cops. Look, I understand that in the comments yesterday, somebody said maybe they're prop knives. And I said, that's ridiculous. Occam's razor tells me those were real knives. I still believe that. I think this is a cover up at the highest levels of the government. And
What I find
of
hard
the
to
culture.
believe is that Britney Spears has a team. Like, she doesn't work anymore.
What
are they doing?
There's a $20 one there from the Ninja from Pop Culture Planet.
Oh, hello. Weekly Space Tithe. Brett, have you seen Pi? Mary, Space Catholics experience confirmation differently? And question, why isn't seafood from the ocean more salty? They live in salty water. Call Alex Jones, please. This is a lot to take in.
Look, I never actually got around to seeing Pi, but I know a lot of people like that movie. But did you see the thing? So Alex Jones was on some like Brazilian jiu-jitsu dude's podcast and got choked out and like fell asleep and was snoring on the podcast. passed, apparently.
He got choked out and passed out, and then they just left him there.
It was only for a couple of seconds, but you can hear him snoring. He likely has like
apnea.
Yeah, he's
Sleep
probably got
apnea?
like sleep apnea. Like he's probably got.
How
like,
did I miss this?
It was on TMZ today.
We were gonna
Oh.
cover
Yeah.
it, I guess.
Anytime like a person like that, like I was color me tickled the whole time. Lauren Boebert was showing up on TMZ, which I just find funny. Like it's ridiculous.
But anyway, I just don't think that Britney Spears like has more than a few employees. Yes, she has security. Yes, she probably has a personal assistant, but a team.
Well, I mean that's a team. That's a security and a personal assistant. That's your
buy
team.
her prop knives.
She's also got.
They might just be false edge. They might be real knives that are just false edge.
She's also got a manager and an agent. So that's a team of people. That's a team.
And this is her social media management.
Yes.
They're like, this is great content. Where you
She insisted the
clash
knives
knives together.
but if
You saw the video, right?
Oh yeah. No,
What did you think of the video?
I'm just confused why she continues to make this sort of content. I mean, if she enjoys what she's doing, more power to her. But I mean, after a while, it just gets old watching the same kind of flustered dance movements, and then you bring prop knives into it. I'm baffled.
My
Do you
favorite
think
part
that
is
the 911 calls were warranted?
No, honestly, I don't think they were. I think that's a little extreme.
A little extreme?
Yeah.
I think the point that I would like to have made is like maybe if a family member did it because they might know them better,
Correct.
right? Like if her kids do it because granted she doesn't see her kids that much. If her kids do it because they know them well, but a random person who just doesn't know them, you know. But it's okay because yesterday we made the joke about I made the joke about her being a hibachi chef. And,
Yes, and then the internet came
delivered
through.
right here, ladies and gentlemen. It didn't take like literally before the show was over. Someone posted this on my Twitter timeline. Here we go.
Onion volcano one more time.
One of them said, "It's hibachi, bitch."
I would let her cook me up a meal.
Yes.
Are you telling me a shrimp fried that right?
But
I love it. Okay, and then
not
there's
the-
also the Mike Myers.
Yep, but no,
duet.
I also found this one. Mark Safe from Britney Spears Dancing with Knives from the Britney Spears Knives show today. And then we also have this one. Hold on.
He got it on point too.
Apparently that's a dance she got from Shakira.
Wait, really?
Yes.
She's like learning these at home.
So
Shakira was like, "Oh, I appreciate the homage.
the internet never
Maybe without the knives next time."
the internet never fails. And
it's
then
so predictable, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yep, it's great. So let some levity enter your lives after everyone got mad about having this discussion about Britney Spears and knives yesterday.
It's not that serious.
It's not that serious. Yep. All right, guys. Oh yeah, it says, "Have you ever been to Brittany Hanna?"
Yeah, Brittany. I would like to.
It would be great. It would be great. All right, guys. I got a couple of other things here. Tell us about Camille Vasquez. Yeah.
If you didn't know, Johnny Depp's lawyer from the defamation trial, the hot one. She just did an interview with Nancy Grace for Fox. And she revealed a couple of interesting details about the trial. One of them, she reportedly may have sprayed Johnny Depp's cologne in the women's restrooms at the courthouse to psychologically trick Amber Heard. She was called downright sadistic for doing so.
Me and Mary often talk about how great it is that lawyers are allowed to just be bad people.
Yeah.
I actually did enter a women's restroom at the Fairfax County Courthouse, and I didn't smell anything.
Can't
like
confirm.
Cologne,
Yeah.
so
But this
can't
is-
confirm or deny.
This is like woman tactics for warfare. Like we do the psychological sort of stuff, right? We're not going
Yeah.
to be out there.
Hit 'em where it
with-
hurts.
Yeah, you hit 'em where it hurts.
Do you think that it worked? I don't know.
I don't think so.
It's like Dior Sauvage.
Yeah, well, no, what it is
Toilet.
like she was about to give the performance of a lifetime. She's like, my dog stepped on a bee, but then she remembered. She went to the bathroom, and
She
so
remembered
sense
that
memory is
smell.
like, oh my gosh, I just heard the thing, and then the performance just fell apart.
She has this
right then and there.
flashback.
Doesn't it feel like a lifetime ago that all that happened?
When was that?
What
Because
trial?
it does
Last
feel like,
summer.
are you kidding me?
People are like, what defamation trial? I don't know what
feels
you're
like
talking about.
5 years ago.
It feels like ages ago.
It feels like forever ago to me, doesn't it?
Yeah, nobody cares about it anymore, and everyone was opinionated at the time.
Yeah, it's weird how.
Then everyone kind of switched. Did you notice that? Like everyone kind of switched
I don't
sides
believe
and
that.
went back to sympathizing with Amber Heard.
I do not believe that that's true. I think I would love to see the
At least
data
on my
this.
algorithm, I'm seeing more pro Amber tweets.
I'm not seeing that. I mean, I'm not seeing much people talking about it at all, but most of the people is like, we get a lot of specific pushback. When you bring it up, there's this guy who, like, anytime something positive Amber Heard comes up, he posts like a video, like, you know, the phone call where she says, I didn't punch you, I hit you, but he made it a lyric video. And where it's like, it says, I didn't punch you, and he punches the word hit into the word you. And it's like he would post it on all of them.
Okay,
so that, like,
that's a little bit much.
it's just like, hey, just remember, that's who you're
You're getting a
sympathizing
little.
with.
I think everyone got a little too invested in it.
Yep, a
You
little
know?
bit.
Didn't Johnny Depp start doing music again?
Yes.
He did. He
Yeah.
started
Yeah.
performing again and
Started dating a redhead for a while.
started dating his French teacher, right?
Yes.
His French tutor.
He had a French tutor for a movie role he was doing.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So get your life back together. He did
What
also,
did you think of Elon posting the Mercy cosplay
Did
that
not
Amber
see
Heard
this.
did?
Didn't
You
see
didn't
this.
see this?
No.
You're missing out.
I bet.
So Elon had a biography written about him.
Okay.
And in it, there are a lot of salacious details about his baby mama drama, and Amber Heard is allegedly one of those baby mamas.
Right.
And it was revealed that she did, in fact, cosplay as Mercy from Overwatch
Amazing.
at Elon's request. And then he proved that this was true by posting the picture on X
If that's one of the worst
for
things,
millions of
you know
people to
what?
see.
More power to him. If that's one of the weirdest things between the two of
Yeah,
them, I'm
it could
okay
be
with
worse.
that.
It could be way worse.
Could be way worse.
yeah. He has her dressed up as the alien from Alien.
But you know, like if that were me, if I were Amber, I'd be like kind of
Pissed
off about that.
You're more modest than she is, though.
She doesn't care.
She's not modest. At least I wouldn't.
Okay,
I wouldn't
wait.
categorize her as modest.
I wanted
Definitely
to
not.
play this clip from the Camille Vasquez interview where they're talking about this infamous picture of Johnny Depp passed out with ice cream melted all over his jeans.
Okay, here we go.
Another thing that really irritated me is the picture that she took of Depp when he was passed out, I think eating ice cream or something like that.
I'm sorry,
With
that
his hand in his pocket?
made me laugh when I
Yeah,
first saw it.
That. Because, you know, I see my husband fall asleep in funny positions all the time, like his head back or this or that. I don't take pictures of him.
It's cruel. Yeah, and I think it bugged the jury. I mean, Johnny Depp doesn't eat ice cream, and his hand is in his pocket. She asked him to hold it because she saw that he was falling asleep, and she, I think, knew that he would likely have it tip over.
You know what you just did? You explained something. You know, people don't always understand why they think what they think, why they're getting an impression. They just know that something's off kilter.
Right.
That picture was off kilter, the whole thing.
It
was-
didn't resonate with what she was saying. It wasn't consistent with what she was saying. She was describing this monster by her own words.
Monsters don't fall
Man.
asleep with ice cream
Yet
in their hands.
What we had were
exactly.
really
Exactly
cool
right.
pictures of someone struggling with
What type of
sobriety.
monster holds ice cream for his girlfriend? It's not a thing. A monster tells you, hold your own damn ice cream.
Bitch.
What do I look like, a maid? He says. He's like, why don't you go back to the ice cream shop and ask for a second one?
Why is it always ice cream? What is up with ice
It's
cream?
just so funny how, like, why does she know that Johnny Depp doesn't eat ice cream? You're telling me this man just never eats ice cream in his entire life?
I guess that kind of makes sense. Like if they're really trying to get into the nitty gritty about legal things, like is this within his character to eat ice cream? And if it's not, well, I don't know.
I'm just
It
picturing
proves
them.
that she sadistically
Yeah.
handed him a pint of ice cream.
I'm picturing, like,
when he
her,
was not
like-
in any shape to be holding ice cream.
like somewhere she's like I would like to object, Your Honor, my client does not eat ice cream, he only eats yogurt, he's not an ice cream
He
person.
only eats froyo with lots of toppings on it.
He would never eat ice cream. This is clearly not in his character. If the glove doesn't fit, you must acquit. So there's got to be an ice cream version of that somewhere. I like it. All right. And I got a couple of... Netflix is having a no good, very bad day. So they've got a couple of lawsuits underway coming towards them. The first coming at the behest of a woman who's suing them and Ava DuVernay, who created a documentary. It says the case revolves around DuVernay's Netflix miniseries When They See Us, which DuVernay directed and co-wrote. The series tells the story of the Central Park Five. In 1989, 5 Black and Hispanic teens were convicted of R-wording a jogger in Central Park while out wilding. That's in quotes in the article. It says in 2002 the convictions were overturned after a man confessed to the R word and DNA backed up his claim. Eventually the 5 were released and awarded $41 million in settlements. Although the 5 are legally cleared, there are still some lingering doubts about their innocence, and to my mind that point is valid. That's who wrote the article, not me. John Nolte wrote that. Everyone should read this superb piece by Ann Coulter. The point is though is they reverse engineered the woman who experienced the R word
and basically like cast her as this
racist.
Horrible racist
Yeah.
in the Netflix series.
And she is a 76-year-old woman who then she's like a successful lawyer now. She retired from the legal profession. Said she basically lost a lot of friends and stuff because of what happened, because they cast her as an evil person. Yeah.
And turned into a tool for division at the time.
Yeah, it says, this is not it. It says the 5-part series destroyed 76-year-old Fairstein's life. That is not in dispute. After retiring from the legal profession, Fairstein was a successful fiction author who served on several boards. After the Netflix series aired, she was blacklisted by her publisher and forced to resign from those boards. Just like that, she was the corporate media's newest racist villain. And DuVernay even basically said in a tweet that was pulled up that she said she like dismissed what was happening to her. And she basically pushes back. She says, like, I did not lead the prosecution. I didn't tell them who to prosecute. So she's suing because she's having her life destroyed because of this documentary, because they didn't change the names. They kept her name. The reenactment of it is not with a different name.
Yeah.
So DuVernay, the judge wrote, said, did not set out to target or cancel Fairstein, but added that she would have to, no doubt whatsoever, that Fairstein was central to the investigation and prosecution, was morally and legally culpable for the outcome. So she's saying that even though she wasn't the one who prosecuted the case, she's the one who's morally responsible for the fact that 5
She's
run.
culpable for a jury's decision.
And it sounds like victim blaming to me.
Right.
Like that, isn't that what they talk about?
Well, that's where the left loses its mind, is like when one oppression class butts heads with another, you don't know who to take sides with.
Yeah.
And
Do you believe all victims or do you believe all minorities?
Well, that's the other problem, is that you have all these progressive prosecutors that are like the Soros-funded DAs that come in and they turn the criminals into the victims when they are prosecuting cases. And it's like, no, how about you actually pay attention to the people who have been victimized, who are traumatized?
Yeah.
But, oh, the criminals are feeling traumatized too by their own actions.
Yep.
Sure.
They're out getting bread at the Apple store right now. But not just this. So
by the way, I think YouTube relaxed its guidelines and we are actually allowed to say rape on air without getting demonetized or demoted.
It's too
we don't have to say
ingrained in me
grape anymore.
Well, it's just going to get taken
R-word or
down
essay.
today.
It just kind of takes away the seriousness of what we're talking about.
But that isn't the only lawsuit that Netflix is facing right now. They're being sued by a game maker who they hired to make a tabletop game for the movie Rebel Moon that's coming out. And he's basically saying that they hired him to make this game. They didn't make the game, and then are using some of the world building he used in the game in the movie.
What?
Yeah. So it says Netflix was accused in a lawsuit filed in California federal court Thursday of terminating without a legitimate basis a licensing agreement with Evil Genius Games in a bad faith attempt to hijack intellectual property by asserting ownership over parts of the project to use in the movie and potentially release the game themselves to avoid sharing the profits.
I just think Rebel Moon doesn't need any drama, and it doesn't need a game to go with it.
But
mainly it doesn't need any drama attached to it.
Yeah. I don't think this case I don't think this is going to make a ton of news.
No.
But it is interesting that Netflix is kind of always fighting one lawsuit or another.
Yeah.
It's one of the things when they have to worry about all these projects that they greenlight that don't make any money. They've only got so much money that they have
You're making the game for it before you even know if it's going to do well on streaming.
Yeah.
Like, that's a little presumptuous.
A little bit.
I mean, I'm sure it is gonna do pretty well when it comes out.
Yeah. Oh, also
People are excited for it.
They said that Netflix got caught trying to film pedestrians and make them unintentional scabs for B-roll for a series called The Perfect Couple, and it made me think of like all the times you see like really wide shots of like New York or something like that. I mean, they can't get the
To a certain extent, that's got to be allowed. But if your face is visible in anything, that must be illegal to do that without consent.
I think about that because there's a lot of times they shoot in like Central Park and stuff like that. And
They always don't they put up little banners that kind of say
shooting in this area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you're in this area, just be prepared. You will be on camera.
Yeah. And then that's got to be hard for them too, because then the people are like looking and pointing at the camera and stuff like that. It's a bitch to get through. So Netflix has always got their own problems. They have these types of things, and they wonder why people get so frustrated with the studios, and then people get frustrated with the people who are writing the shows. And Netflix is like, look, we have more to worry about than just your bad scripts. We also have lawsuits. We have all this stuff. And then it's just funny because all the comments are just the typical stuff where they're like, this ain't it. And I'm just like, I don't have any respect for any of you. None of you. None of you people. All right. We have very important news. Mary, tell us what's going on with Emily Ratatouille.
Alert the media.
Alert the media.
Emily Ratatouille. It's Ratajkowski, but we call her Ratatouille here. Yes. She's announced that her biggest ick is men who wear ankle socks.
Ladies, I'm going to need you to weigh in.
Men around the world are going to be burning their ankle socks.
I'm going to need you ladies to weigh in.
How high are ankle socks? Because I would say my husband almost exclusively wears ankle socks, but he has very unique sock taste. Like he will wear Bigfoot socks and he will wear just like anything crazy, but they do hit his ankles. And
Like
I have no issue with it.
They're bearing the ankle.
Oh,
is what you're saying.
Okay, no. Never mind.
They're above the ankle.
Above the
They're
ankle.
tube socks.
Tube socks.
So Emily has no problem with that.
Okay.
It's the kind that bear the ankle that are a problem for her.
So does that mean that
my
no-show
recent
socks just give her the mega ick?
No, but that's legitimate. If a guy's wearing a no-show sock, it's
I am with Emily on
problem.
this one.
You're with
I
Emily on
don't.
this
I
one?
don't know if I should see a man's ankles.
My recent ick is men's ankles, exposed ankles. I hate that. A dainty ankle exposed on the hottest man will ruin my day. It will ruin her day.
This is why men have it easier than women, because no dude is like, look, she was smoking hot. Then I saw her socks and I was just like, ugh.
Her elbows were too pointy is the meme.
Oh my god! Like I saw her elbows and I was like, what? I don't want to get stabbed. I'm not into that. Like no way.
Do you want to play the video?
Yeah. Here we go.
Your ex with men or with
Can be whatever you want.
a recent ick that you've discovered. I'll give you one I just thought of.
Okay, what is one?
My recent ick is men's ankles, exposed ankles. I hate that. They're a dainty ankle exposed on the hottest man will ruin my day.
Oh, it's funny. Okay, so I have a story. I get a lot of like, I'm sure everybody here gets like targeted Instagram ads, right? Like you get very specific Instagram ads. Of
course.
So I get very specific ones from like companies that make like designer joggers, right? And like, I kid you not, there's this one ad for this company where it talks about, he's like, it's got this elongated ankle cuff. You're always showing off just the right amount of ankle. I'm like, what year is it? Like, why is this a thing?
No, I think I'm so with Emily on this one that like I don't even like when men wear shorts. Like I don't think I should.
The shorts trend is
like any shorts. Like I don't know if I should see a man's legs. Like I think they kind of should.
Men, wear your shorts. Don't listen to him. You're allowed to wear shorts if you want.
This could be my unpopular.
I don't wear shorts.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, wear what you want.
Short kings.
Short kings.
Look, guys. Like no one can shame you just because you're dressed that way. Doesn't mean you have to deserve this happening to you. It's fine.
I think specifically the trend of men wearing super short shorts is a problem, but whatever. It's not my responsibility to stop them. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think of the gym girls who are just like terrorizing the public?
I mean, I think, if you go to the gym in a sports bra and shorts, which I do often, like you should know that people are going to probably look at your body. And if you're uncomfortable with that, then cover up. And I do that often. Like if I don't want to be exposed, I cover up.
Yeah.
So it's like, you should know that if you're wearing something super tight, you're gonna get attention. Like,
There was
it's
this
just life.
ridiculous video of this girl wearing like bike shorts. I mean, they weren't even bike shorts. They were just like super tight booty shorts, and she tucked her loose t-shirt up into the back of them.
Oh, yeah.
Just so that her ass was out.
Of course.
And visible. And then she sets up her phone and starts recording, and she's like, this guy just stared at my ass. And then
It's
she turns
bait.
around and she takes the shirt out from tucked under her booty shorts to cover herself. Like, oh, I'm feeling so exposed right now. Like,
It's absolute bait.
and just like, what do you think you're doing?
Women will do things like this and then wonder why we put limitations on their sovereignty. No, I'm just kidding. You know, that's.
But it's not really a joke. Like, it's true.
No, it's made for great internet content, though. It has made for great skits. Like
Recording yourself anywhere in public is going to draw people's attention.
There's this one guy who does these ones where it's always like him and his wife or his girlfriend or something, and like he's working out, and then she just comes and sits right in front of him and starts doing squats, and he takes it's him taking his shirt off and putting it over his face so that he can go back to doing to working out. And the idea being, he's like, look, I can't get distracted. I gotta keep on. Or the ones where the girl, like, she's lifting and then like it's like literally crushing her, and no guys want to help because they don't want to. They're like, look, I'm not
talk to
gonna
women at
touch it.
gyms.
No,
It's just a rule now.
yeah. All right, guys. And also, speaking of influencers in the gym trying to promote their brand, whatever that brand may be, if you're Irish and want to do that, you can now take a college course on being an influencer. So I imagine there's probably a section. They're like, look, tuck your shirt into the back of your shorts and then set your camera up over here.
Yeah.
They offer crisis management classes for when you get canceled on the internet. They're
That's
going to teach you how to make
crazy.
apology videos.
That's insane. Like they're like do this, and they show one, and they don't do this, and they show like the Colleen Ballinger video. They're like, do this, more of this, less toxic gossip train.
That's just embarrassing because, like, I mean, I got a communications degree, and so we had to take crisis comms classes. Like, that's just a standard. So to have it be turned into something where it's crisis management for getting canceled online just feels a little embarrassing to see how we've devolved.
I mean, it's working out great for Miss Miranda Sings with her ukulele apology. I think that's gone over real well with the internet.
Well, eventually what they'll have to do is they'll have to learn how to make apologies that don't sound so corporate. They're going to have to, the corporate
There's
apologists.
no way to do it right.
The corporate apologists will have to learn how to fake sincerity when they don't really know how to do that.
Well, they think they're being sincere by pulling up their phone and doing the video like that. And, you know, it looks so raw and they're crying on camera, but it's not sincere.
Well, what about the Notes app screenshot?
Oh my God.
Is that better?
No.
What's the best way to apologize on the internet?
I would say more formal. I would say have a more formal
Like a letter?
apology.
Set up like a podium. like in
Have
your
a
house.
press conference.
Well, it's like, because we made fun of the fact that like when Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis did their apology, they're behind this like wood background, and somebody found a picture of their house on this massive property and said, this is where they did it. And it's just like one wall on the back of like, there's like an infinity pool in front of it. And it's just like how to fake
They
authenticity.
got that from the
and
Architectural
sincerity.
Digest that showed their multi-million-dollar mansion.
Yeah, like to me, I just think it's one of those things where like now you have to get used to it because everyone has to apologize all the time. The better thing to do would be to just not apologize.
Yeah, the best
That's
way
the
to
vote.
apologize
That's my vote.
on the internet is to not apologize at all. But then in the case of Miranda Sings, she did actually do that stuff, and it was bad and wrong. What do you do? Like, just leave the internet forever? Live off the riches you made?
Who is the one that just like who like canceled herself?
That was Jenna Marbles.
There you go. She's just
She
like,
was
look,
like, it was so awkward too, because in that video, she takes her laptop and plays this video of her in blackface as Nicki Minaj. And she turns around the laptop and she's like, this is what I did. And she's like, I'm leaving the internet. I'm sorry. Bye forever. And she just never came back.
Are we going to have Shane Dawson do that someday?
He's pretty much back already. He kind of came back quietly after COVID was over. COVID was over. And
you're better off just never
he was like,
apologizing.
I was actually listening to him on Steve-O's podcast. He went on Steve-O's podcast to come back into the public eye like 5 months ago. And he said, you know, I didn't really hurt anyone. Like, I didn't rape anyone. I didn't really, like, I don't have victims. I just kind of, like, hurt people's feelings. And then everyone who reacted to that was like, well, what about you recording yourself and your mom on Omegle with, like, 14-year-olds telling them to twerk? And, like, what about that video of you pretending to, like, ejaculate on Willow Smith when she was 13? And what about the times when you were at meet and greets with your underage fans and you were, like, kissing them? Like, things like that. Like, I feel like you actually do need to apologize and not just act like every cancellation is bogus.
Yeah, but it's the
YouTubers are bad people. Including me.
whether the apology is warranted or not, the truth of the matter is the same, that it's never going to be enough. Like, even if you apologize, he would have to do it because he morally feels impaired, like that he needs to do so.
Not to get a certain response.
Because it's never going to be enough. So it would have to be a change of his own personality where he has to actually see the wrong in his actions. And the way people are about demanding apologies from people means that isn't people's first instinct. It's never your first instinct anymore to apologize for actual, because you're actually feeling bad about something. It's your instinct to either not do it at all, to say F you, or to do it just to get on with your life. And that doesn't work either because it's never enough. Mm-hmm. So it always ends up failing.
Well, as far as them trying to insert influencer classes into higher academia, it's definitely something that you'd be better off doing on your own.
Think so?
Everyone who gets famous on the internet usually does it by accident.
Yeah.
Not because it's calculated.
There's a lot of people in a lot of professions where they're like, look, the best in something, they didn't go to school for it. They were just, they worked hard at it. Obviously, we're not talking about lawyers or doctors.
They're always like, Zuckerberg dropped out of college.
Exactly.
Well, then
that means you should drop out of college. But it doesn't work for most people.
You look to people who are quote unquote influencers to be authentic. So if you're going to school to become an influencer, then that's just inauthentic. And like, why would I trust your brand?
Yeah. But is that a problem that's going to get worse too? Because like back in the day, it would like people would stumble into it, right?
Yeah.
Now people don't stumble into it. People search it out, which isn't exactly a recipe for honesty or sincerity.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
well, I'm sure Chinese influencers are all put into some kind of training camp from the time they're 3 years old.
Have you seen the videos of them, like the TikTok training?
The content farms?
Yeah, creepy.
Yeah, even some of them were outdoors. No one knows the origins of these videos or what they're for. You like rent, I don't know, it's a warehouse where you rent out a space with a ring light.
Yeah.
To do like TikTok live streams. Where is the money
Imagine
going?
there's going to be like a warehouse of NPC streamers.
And it literally looks like that.
And you're going to hear just like this unbelievably disconcerting sound of like 1,000 ice cream, so good. And except for it's echoing from 1,000 people saying ice cream so good. It's going to be gross and disgusting.
No spicy.
Glizzy overdrive. All right, guys. What would you ladies like to see first? Cute or cringe of the day?
What do you say?
I want to go with cringe of the day so that we can wash it off later with some cute.
Perfect.
Let's see.
All right, here we go. Mary sent me this one earlier. So it says, Hinge Boy started DJing. Please come pick me up. I think it's fake. I think they're already in a relationship.
Really?
I don't think it's real.
Speaking of
burst
authentic,
our bubble now.
I don't think it's real. Personally.
I know.
It's
that
not
looks
on the
staged.
question, but I said like there's no situation when you're on a first date from a dating app where you should be in someone's house.
That's fair.
That's a bad idea, but I know that a lot of people do it. It's not uncommon.
Yeah. I was.
And why is it that he just like totally turned away from her and has no idea what her reaction is? It just doesn't.
Like if it was real, I feel like he'd be wanting to face her so that he could try to look cool to her while he's doing this. This is like he's completely disinterested.
Does he think that this looks cool?
Like,
or maybe this might just be all elaborate 4D chess, and he was looking for the internet clout, and so he was like, "I'm gonna get this girl to come to my house.
My tracks are gonna go viral on
She
TikTok.
might start filming me, and then I can turn around and turn it into an influencer career."
See, I think it's just like he's like, look, she said something he didn't like. He's like, I'm gonna get the upper hand by pretending like I don't even care if she's here. So he just turned his back to her and started DJing.
His beats kind of go hard.
There were a surprising amount of women in the comments saying like, I would be dancing. I would love this on a first date. Like, No.
I think
sorry.
I think it's a plant. I think they're together.
At least
They're
buy
already
me
in a
dinner
relationship.
first.
I was explaining to Mary like how different the world was. That like my first okay, so I dated a girl in high school that I went to high school with. We went to the same school, not for very long, but it did happen. And then my first like long-term relationship, I met her on MySpace.
Nice.
And literally like first
You're
time
just like, hey stranger, here's my address.
and just went to her house.
Nice.
Then that was like not that long after like talking for the first time. Like, and the world is was a little bit more trusting in 2005, where they're just
I guess.
she's like, you know what, this person who this wasn't an age where there was video chat.
There was no proof that you were who you said you were.
like you didn't have like a camera phone that sent really good pictures.
You could have ended up on Catfish.
And then I would have and if I had taken a picture, it would have had to have been with like a digital camera, and then I would have had to like host it on Photo Bucket and then like send it
The
to
thing
her.
is, the worst case scenario for you is that she's like ugly or fat and didn't show you in her pictures. The worst case scenario for her is that she literally gets murdered. So weigh the stakes there.
But it was we were together for like 8 months.
Guess it
so-
ended up fine.
That's a significant period of time.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. But like you said, she was very trusting she also pulled a Camille Vasquez and would like spray letters with her perfume.
But in the day and age of dating apps, I don't think that inviting someone to your house is a very good idea.
No, most people will point out that they're like, look, and a guy should pick you up. They're like, you're telling some dude you just met like your address on the first date. No siree. Like maybe on date number 2, maybe, but like maybe wait for a couple to figure out whether that's actually a good
Gotta
idea.
do background checks. Gotta meet everybody in their family.
Yep.
Just to make sure.
So I like look, is it cringe? I don't know if it's cringe. If it is, I feel like she's annoying for like just outing this dude who's having
she's
a
annoying.
good time.
Yeah.
She's annoying. He's cringe.
Yeah.
They deserve each other.
Okay. Well, we've got some cute of the day to help change the vibe here. The first one is from Pig Taco, who says, "All right, here is 3 of 5. The loaf of fluff is Luna, only survivor of her litter, and the rest were eaten by raccoons. She hid in a tire in a shed while it happened, according to the person we got her from. She is the angriest little loaf you will ever see."
This cat has trauma. That's a horrifying story, but I mean,
That's an
glad
amazing
she
picture.
lived.
The dog is more timid than
Glad she
the
survived.
kitty.
She's
Oh,
cute.
Barbs.
She's a cutie.
She's got the heart of a survivor there.
Love it.
That is adorable. All
How
right,
sweet.
let's do 2 more. Joshua
Whoa.
James says, this red-tailed boa is Reptar. She's got the name from the old Rugrats cartoon. She loves slithering on carpet, basking under a heat lamp, and eating rats.
Okay, this is controversial, but I've said it before and I'll say it again. Snakes are cute. They are.
I have a snake. I love snakes.
If you look at their faces, it's like a little puppy.
They've got adorable little faces, and they
Yeah.
don't all have to be big. And there are ones that are really docile. My snake is a rosy boa. She's like this big, like that thick, and doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
She barely even eats the mice we give her. She
Do you get them frozen or live?
live?
How do you kill them? Do you
She-
just put them in
She
alive?
kills them.
Okay.
Yeah,
Some people kill
hopefully.
them first.
Oh no.
Then
Everyone,
you
no.
look up like methods online, and one of them is just like, oh, just bash them on a table by their tail. Like I could never do that.
That's a little much for me.
Let's do one more. This is from Sorenko Productions. He says, it's been a while since Luna has graced PCC. So here are some recent pictures. Oh,
I like
Fluffy.
Luna. 2 Lunas today.
2 Lunas.
Everyone be naming their dog Luna these
Yep.
days. No offense to Luna though.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started then, shall we? We are what? We are 44 minutes into the show, Mary.
Let's jump
Let's
right
go ahead and
into
jump
it.
right in. Tell us what's going on with the conservative war on Taylor Swift.
I think what it is that conservatives fear Taylor Swift's power and her cultural impact, her influence over young women. And that's why we're talking about this today. What is her influence on young women's voting habits and their political opinions? And can she change the 2024 election in a bad way?
She
I
should
think
have
she
an
already
album.
has.
She should have
I
an
would
album
agree.
called...
She already got like 35,000 girls, probably girls, to register as Democrats. I'm sure.
Yes.
Like 99% of them.
An article was written by the Federalist that says Taylor Swift's popularity is a sign of societal decline.
This is a hit piece by Mark Hemingway. And look, I looked at his author page. This guy should not be commenting on Taylor Swift or whatever is relevant to young women. He's out of touch. But his...
I love his writing. Like, Federalist is one of my favorite publications.
no problem with the Federalist or like this guy personally. It just doesn't seem like he totally gets the big picture.
He's
with
onto
her.
something with so he has this whole section about talking about the meme decade and how people are very nowadays, focused on like, this is, very, very self-centered.
Yeah.
And I get that with certain popular songs of Taylor Swift, but I mean, I'm going to be honest, I don't know her full catalog.
Yeah.
I only know the popular ones, so I don't know if it applies to all of her
Do you
music.
distinguish between like her older music and newer?
It all kind of is the same to me.
Okay.
Somebody in the chat said,
Just the
did
hits.
someone just throw money at you? Yes, consider 00 in the chat. Someone did just throw money at us.
There's a
It was
little
you.
person in the corner
It was
that
you.
throws money at us.
Because anyone who super chats is able to throw
Yes.
money at us. You are literally the one throwing the money at us when you super chat.
We should
So
have
continue to do
pyrotechnics.
so.
Episode 500?
That would be great. We should just start we should just set fireworks
Just set
off.
fire to the
Like,
studio.
that would be
We
great.
burn the studio down on episode 500.
That would be great.
And it says audiences and elite tastemakers alike have decided Taylor Swift's narcissistic lyrics and cliched music are a cultural triumph.
What is she
But
supposed
why
to
would
write
we
about?
celebrate this?
What is she supposed to write about? Somebody else's love life?
And
Yeah, I don't quite get it.
It's not exclusive to Taylor Swift
No.
either. It's like every artist is very narcissistic.
There's actually an interesting comment here in the chat from BLT says, why does Taylor Swift appeal to young people? She's not Gen Z. She has crossed many generational boundaries.
Because her original fan base when she started out in country music was millennial women. And they were like the tweens and teens at the time. And they grew up, and some of them grew out of Taylor Swift. Some of them are still fans. But Taylor Swift kind of had a lull in her career, and she made a big comeback, and she's in her renaissance right now. After going like mainstream pop and then more into like the folklore Evermore.
Yeah.
era.
DC and C says, I'm confused. What Taylor did that was bad? Nothing. Literally right now, what it is that a lot of the conservatives are very, very afraid of the fact that she has tremendous cultural influence and she is actively involved in politics
Her
to
new
a certain
fan base
extent.
is Gen Z, and
Yeah.
they're going to be the next voters in this election.
And when you make one tweet and get 35,000 people to register to vote, she's
Yeah.
going to be able to sway an entire election with numbers like that. Even if only 5,000 of those people voted, that's a lot of people when an election is close. And there isn't really a movement down the right that reaches the broader apolitical demographic in that way.
And this is
Yeah.
why I take no issue at all with Vivek Ramaswamy having a TikTok.
That
You actually do have to reach the young people,
yeah,
like you
somehow.
do.
And the hardest
is that
part
the only way?
It's one of the ways.
I feel like TikTok became more of a like cross-generational platform. Like there are people of all generations on it.
They're saying in the
True.
chat, they're saying Gen Z won't show up. I said, like, that's a risk you're willing to take, but I think a lot of them are saying that that's not a risk they want
Well,
to
the
be
Gen
willing to
Z
take.
who are going to show up are going to vote Democrat.
Yeah.
Like
Every
let's be
single one
honest.
of those voters is going to vote exactly the same way down the ticket. And there isn't a cultural influence on the right outside of Donald Trump that could get you to do that. And I would argue even he would inspire more people, though most of his fans are diehards.
Is he allowed on TikTok?
I have no idea, but he would still, because he's heavily political, he would motivate people who are more interested in action, like the people who would vote who got into politics just because of Donald Trump. We're probably about to get more involved in politics anyways. So if they're not the ones that are going to vote Republican down the line, they're going to actually research candidates and, do their due diligence. I don't see the same thing happening to people who signed up because Taylor Swift told them to vote. Right?
I also I know a lot of, and it's anecdotal, of course, but like I know a lot of conservative women who love Taylor Swift.
Yes.
Almost all of them.
Yeah.
She has a lot of Christian women in her audience, and that's there's this conservative publication for women called The Conservator, and I saw they posted about this too recently. They said it's important to reflect on Taylor Swift's message to young women across the nation. She has a significant portion of her fan base composed of Christian women. Unfortunately, her activism is not only out of touch and misguided, it also denigrates the faith of many women who support her. So it's time we finally have an open discussion about what it means to be a Taylor Swift fan. Does she deserve the Bud Light treatment?
There's a
or can we
$20 one.
separate art from the artist?
There's a $20 one from High Voltage 75.
Taylor's appeal spans all generations. My boomer mother in her 60s thinks she's the most talented female artist ever.
It is also fair to point out that the conservatives would be more likely to be willing to separate art from artist.
Correct.
Way more.
They always...
Thank you!
If you're a conservative who likes Taylor Swift, you're already doing it.
Yeah.
If you're a conservative who likes pretty much any mainstream artist, you're already doing that.
I do that every day when I go watch movies, right? Like I'm separating art from artists. That doesn't bother me. Like you have to be able to do that. The problem is she's going to inspire people that are only going to vote one way. And Gavin Newsom said that. Ooh. See that right now? That person in the chat's like, wow, how did they do that? That's literally how you did it. You guys
Was
make
there
that happen.
somebody who's new to the show talking about it?
Yeah, it was somebody who it was not a name that I was used to seeing, so it had to be someone new. I know a lot
Thanks for being here.
women that would consider themselves, if not conservative, at least educated and pretty libertarian or middle of the road in their views that love Taylor Swift.
Absolutely.
Right, and Gavin Newsom had a thing right after the debate. He said Taylor Swift is uniquely powerful in the next election, and it's crazy. It's crazy to think that
Tommy
one person...
Lahren also weighed in. And to be fair to her, Newsweek lied about what she said about Taylor Swift. The headline says, Tommy Lahren calls Taylor Swift brain dead. That is not what she said. This is her real quote. Her lefty, liberal, brain dead political opinions aside, I'm a fan of Taylor Swift, and I have been since that way before she went liberal. She's also single-handedly done more for the U.S. economy than any Democrat president, maybe ever. And when I heard the rumors of her and Travis Kelce, at first I thought there is no way this is going to last. We're going to get into Travis Kelce today, unfortunately. We talked about it a couple times earlier in the week, and it got stale. Like, there's only so much that you can observe.
Did you like they were milking it? They were like, sales of ranch and ketchup from Heinz triples after Taylor Swift.
They released a what appears to be, what was it called? It was like,
that stuff already existed. That was already something that was sold.
There was a meme of Taylor Swift eating a chicken tender with ketchup and seemingly ranch.
Yeah.
And they released ketchup and seemingly ranch.
Men, you heard it here first. Never let your ladies shame you for eating chicken tendies. If it's good enough for Taylor Swift, it's good enough for you.
When have you been shamed for eating the tendies?
You never saw that video where the woman is like, I thought marrying an older guy would mean... You know what I'm talking about?
What?
She says like, so it's this
Yeah.
video where this lady's like, yeah, I thought marrying an older guy would mean that I was going to get somebody who was sophisticated. I just got back from the grocery store and my husband told me to get dinosaur nuggies, and I don't remember what theirs, but the point is she's like making fun of him for the fact that he likes dino nuggies, but he's in his 40s.
You know what? I
valid.
would make my husband dino nuggies, but then on a different night, how about we do lamb or like steak?
Lamb nuggies don't sound that great. But
No, not nuggies.
It's all about
like
variety.
a roast.
Yes.
A roast. It's about variety. Do the elevated stuff some nights and enjoy the junk the other nights.
Exactly. So just saying, kings, don't let her shame you out of your chicken tendies. You're fine.
I'm sure that's Travis Kelce's reward after he comes home from getting his COVID booster.
And then in the chat, Dustin says chalky milk. There you go.
Yeah.
Have your chicken tendies and your chalky milk.
He carbo loads before the game on Dino Nuggies and Chalky
Don't
milk.
don't have Dino Nuggies in Mountain Dew. That might be too predictable. You can have the Dino Nuggies and the Mountain Dew, but you have to have them at separate times. You can't have them at the same time.
So Tommy Lahren said, I mean, he's an athlete. He's big, strong, and unlike her other boyfriends, looks like he can withstand a strong breeze without falling over and crying. Not necessarily her type, but when I saw this ad for Pfizer, it all came together.
Yep.
Maybe that's why she likes him, because he's a liberal who's done an ad for Bud Light and Pfizer.
It also seems like she's just getting, like, she's sampling every type of guy on the menu at the moment, and like this is the newest type of fixation.
That just sounds so boring.
This is my favorite meme.
I know.
That cycle of constant
This was my
breakups.
favorite meme that came out of all this. It says Travis Kelce started dating Taylor Swift and immediately turned into a state trooper who turns off his body cam.
Yeah, he's just mirroring whatever woman he's dating at the moment.
Somebody in the chat brought up green and purple ketchup. You guys might be too young to remember green and purple
Of
ketchup.
course I do.
Was that a thing when you guys were younger?
Yes, of course. The Shrek one.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, there was a time when you could buy green and purple ketchup.
That's disgusting.
That's what I said. I mean, I'm not a
It's
huge
both,
ketchup fan.
or is it
anyways.
just you can get green or purple?
Green or purple.
Not together.
You know what?
You can
I
put
feel
it
like there
together.
wasn't
Why?
there some sort of swirl, or am I thinking of like the peanut butter and
I
jelly?
think
The Grurple?
peanut butter and jelly. Yeah.
Ew.
The green?
I'm not a huge ketchup fan to begin with, so that was never really a problem for me. But yeah,
What's your
That's
condiment
disgusting.
of choice?
mustard,
Solid.
barbecue sauce if it's French fries.
Good choice.
Yeah,
Ranch is gross.
disgusting.
Agree.
Glad we were all on the same page there.
Mayonnaise is the worst.
Then the
though.
chat right now is going to be pissed.
About ranch?
In the chat, Unknown says, boring, yet we talk about it every episode. Are we talking about colored ketchup or are we talking about Taylor Swift? We went 2 days in a row without talking about Taylor Swift, so, should reset the clock back to 0.
Wait, what did it say?
I don't know if he's talking about, if he's talking about us. Did somebody say Taylor Swift that something is boring?
Is Taylor Swift boring or ketchup?
I find her, her level up kind of fascinating because she was always famous and now she's like ultra mega famous and it almost
Well, if your
seems fake.
fame starts to wear off, then you need to bring in a new flock from the new generation that wouldn't have. They don't care that much about what Demi Lovato is up to.
And, I mean, like
or
Justin Bieber
Selena
doesn't.
Gomez
Justin Bieber doesn't like transcend generations in the same way.
he doesn't really work anymore.
Yeah.
Must be nice.
He's not really putting out music anymore.
He just walks around with his wife.
Yeah,
dressed
he
like a
kind of just
bum.
gets led around on a leash by Haley and wears
She
sweats.
is kind of girl bossing with that with road beauty.
Marco says purple and green ketchup with steak. Ugh.
You do kind of resemble Haley.
Do I?
Have you heard
That's
that
sweet.
before? or
Never
no?
heard that before.
I think you do.
Well, thank you.
Do you see any
She's
other?
pretty.
Let's watch the videos. The ones the Travis Kelce ones.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
there were girls trolling their boyfriends on TikTok saying that Taylor Swift put Travis Kelce on the map.
These guys were not happy.
Taylor Swift and Kelsey is going crazy right now.
Hold on.
Wait, what?
Reset.
The news about Taylor Swift and Kelsey is going crazy right now. And but I think it's so cool because it's like she's gonna help him. She's gonna like help put him on the map. You know?
Oh, he's so pissed.
Yeah, like
That look.
He doesn't need help being put on the map, right?
He's just disagreeing.
Travis Kelce, the guy's like the best tight end in football, maybe ever.
I don't think many people know who he is.
I didn't know who he was.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people know who he is. Travis Kelce.
I'm pretty sure she's the one that's like making his career go crazy right now.
You're joking, right?
No.
You're joking.
It wouldn't. I mean, it would be making his career go crazy. It would be making.
He's
it'd be
about to
raising
flip
his,
the table.
Yeah, like
Wait, go to the next one. This got a little
It's
more
honestly
heated.
kind of crazy that literally nobody even knew who Travis Kelce was until yesterday.
that's a dick move. He had like 3 million followers already.
Nobody knew who the best tight end, Hall of Famer, two-time Super Bowl champion was. Had a dating show on MTV. That's like the one NFL player you can't say that about.
No, Taylor Swift literally is
Tom
putting him
Brady
on
is
the
the
map.
one NFL player you can't say.
Everybody's
I'm not
talking
even
about.
gonna entertain this conversation because you're so wrong. He's like, him and Patrick Mahomes are 1 and 2 most famous NFL players in the entire league. You're so wrong.
The laugh just probably would have sent him, right? Like, she's like, to them, she's denigrating what he cares about. It actually seems kind of mean.
Okay, you're
Well, no,
overstating it a little bit.
To film it, right? And
You
turn
know
it
it's
into a
real
TikTok.
too because
get
you can
that.
see that they're putting their leg in frame to look like they're just like slumped over
Yeah.
looking at Twitter. So you know it's a genuine reaction.
Yeah.
So
but-
much on TikTok is fake these days.
But like they're basically saying like, here's this thing you care about, and then like, oh, it's not all that.
Okay,
big of a
but
deal.
for a lot of women, this is true.
Yes,
I
no,
never
for-
heard
yeah.
of Travis Kelce in my damn life. I never heard of that man before he started dating Taylor Swift. Honest. And that's, I'm sure,
It's
true
almost
for
like
many
men and
other
women
women
have
out
different
there.
interests.
Yeah, and like, why can't that just be like okay? Like that's just how it is.
The guy's rebuttal would be like, "Well, I've never heard a Taylor Swift song, or I don't know any Taylor Swift music."
You
or
definitely
something
know
like that.
who she is.
Yeah.
If ever
That's the
walked
thing.
around a mall, you've heard at least one of her songs.
How do you think she can like reconcile mogging every guy that she dates? Like, how do you date that way when you're more famous and more successful and richer than almost any guy that you could date?
Is it like a game at this point where she enters into these relationships knowing she's going to have another album about them and knowing that she will make a lot of money off of this relationship?
I don't
At
know why
this
you'd want to
point-
do that. And I don't know why the guy would want to put up with it, knowing that it's going to be that way. At a track record at 33 years old, it's like you're probably not going to be the one.
Because it puts you on the map.
Yeah, I guess. But like, if I was the dude, the best would be for her to find a guy who doesn't want to be a public figure, and stay out of the spotlight. Like to me, the celebrities who always seem to have the best, longest lasting marriages, the ones where one of them isn't famous and doesn't seek a public life. So I mean, it's not really possible with her, but yeah.
The guy she was with for 6 years,
Yeah.
they were engaged, right? Am I
Yes.
making that up?
Or no, I don't know if they were. I don't know. You would know that better than me.
Well, whether or not they were engaged, they were together for a long time. He was such a sissy boy.
I just figured they want to be now like the girl who got George Clooney to finally settle down and get married. That was a big deal. Again,
But
like,
now people make up mythology about that marriage, and they say like Amal Clooney is. You look at the green lines. She's the one in charge. She's the alpha. She has him on a leash.
well, I mean
He's
that means
miserable.
it's what he wanted. That
blah,
means
blah,
it's what he
blah.
wanted.
But they're
right?
saying that he's miserable with her, and I don't know.
that's
or
projection
care, but
on that's projection on the part of the people that are saying.
a lot of people
that.
are saying that these days.
Let's go super chats.
All right. Potatoes for Seamus said, "Happy Taco Tuesday, Brett."
Hey!
Tea.
Stop gaslighting me, bro. That's not very nice. It's very rude when you do that.
Hello, Mary, an Aussie accent.
Hello.
DCNC, Shane H. Wilder said, "I just wanted to wish everyone a happy feast of Saints Michael, Gabriel, and Raphael. God bless." All right, now I will go back to saying stupid stuff.
Well, you got to get one sincere thing in before we go back to the stupidity. I know how you feel about that, bro.
Shane H. Wilder said, "Wait, Hillary just received an Emmy? She's had so many hits." Oh, wait, I got that wrong. She took out so many hits. My mistake.
Now somebody should make like a drawing of like the Emmy, because the Emmy's the one with the guy with his arms crossed, right? That's the Emmy statue, or is that the Oscars?
No, that's the Oscar.
Okay, so I mean, like if she won an Oscar, you got to have one with like 2 to the back of the head on the Oscar. That'd be great. Let's do one more and then we'll move on.
Leonardo DiCaprio said, "Creatures in marine environments have reniculate kidneys, which filter out the excess salts and keep them at equilibrium." You're welcome.
So that's why the salt.
We have a marine biologist up in here.
That's awesome.
What's that?
There you go. All right, let's
Okay.
move on. Mary, tell us what's going on with Eugenia Cooney.
Eugenia Cooney is a YouTuber who is mostly known for her illness. She has severe anorexia nervosa, and she has for a long time. She's been in the public eye for a very long time. It's basically been a decade of her on YouTube. And most of the attention that she gets is negative. And I think that she might prefer it that way at this point. And TikTok kind of popped up at a time when she found out how to use that platform to get even more comments, and it's like fuel for her addiction almost.
There's a $20 one there from Dave Gazuli.
Says, "Taylor Swift may put you on the map of someplace, but as Scarecrow said in Batman Begins, I never said they'd be places you wanted to go."
Technically, I think he says that at the beginning of The Dark Knight. Just
Don't fact check Brett on that. Just to clarify.
He's going to take back that $20.
I told you our organization would take you places. I never said it'd be places you wanted to go. I think I could be wrong. If I'm wrong,
They're gonna
if I'm
destroy
wrong,
you if you're
I'm wrong, feel free to mog me in the chat. But it's the scene where he's got the mask on and he's getting out of the van. I think that's in The Dark Knight.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, there we go. There you go. No mogging
I
in the
just
chat.
watched it like a month ago, so
There you
I'm
go.
pretty sure I know what I'm talking about.
All right, but
anyway,
thank you, Dave.
Eugenia just released a particularly disturbing video on TikTok where she is cosplaying as Beyonce, in this skimpy outfit with fishnets and stilettos and a wig on, and she's performing Single Ladies. She's like lip syncing to Single Ladies.
I also want to point out that in the article they put alleged anorexia.
There's no alleged about it.
Well, she admitted to
yes.
Okay.
Wasn't that a portion of her documentary with?
Yeah. Well, Shane Dawson makes documentaries.
Yeah.
Here's for the people in the chat who don't know what she looks like. We've covered her before.
Yeah.
Here's a picture of her. It's very scary to see. It is. Let's watch the clip.
We can't play it with the music, obviously, because that will get us in trouble. But just to, I guess, show you why people found this so scary and disturbing.
And for people
that's
who
the content.
haven't seen a lot of her other stuff, she does this in like other types of cosplay too.
Yeah, this is like basically her entire
online
presence at this point.
Like imagine Britney Spears dancing videos, but anorexic and cosplay.
So you can see the arms.
I was scared for a second. We got a $20
scary.
one from Rick Bungle. Mary, what is your favorite Taylor Swift song? Mine is Shake It Off. I will never be famous enough to date Taylor Swift, but I might have a chance with Lizzo. I'd even settle for getting robbed by Cardi B. Look, you're better than that, King. You're better than both Lizzo and Cardi B.
Yeah.
And maybe Taylor Swift won't ever know who you are, but I don't know. Keep trying.
Do you have a
Keep
favorite
dreaming.
Taylor Swift song?
My favorite Taylor Swift song. Should Have Said No. It's an obvious hit from her country days.
Not Tim McGraw.
That's also a good one. I pretty much like anything on her first album. Yeah.
So, in the chat, Alan Garcia says Taylor Swift isn't real. Very possible. I've never seen her in real life. Could be fake. Could be AI for all we know.
Yeah. I mean, she might as well be.
Maybe Zuckerberg created her in a lab. That could be it. Her it was like some type of co-project between Meta, which was just Facebook back then.
I mean, it does feel like social control that TikTok allows content like this to be on the For You pages of like actual children.
What's funny,
and YouTube allows it too, and there have been calls to demonetize her, to take her channel down. I don't know how I feel about that, but this is clearly accessible to kids, and she doesn't really care what the consequences are.
This might sound a little like lefty coming from me, but like if women who are on the exact opposite end of the spectrum, who have like a lot of excess weight, who are obese, get their content flagged for being obese, why aren't women
they?
I've seen it.
They do.
That's shocking.
Yeah.
Wow.
For like excess cleavage. Not like the Lizzo stuff because she seems to be untouchable.
Right.
But like normal people. So then why isn't Eugenia Cooney's content being
why
flagged?
is it flagged? Why is the
for being like pornographic in content.
Oh, okay. I mean, I thought you were saying because they're like, look, this is promoting unhealthy body image issues.
Oh, no.
I mean, that's the issue.
Showing
here, right?
off too much. I mean, like,
I haven't seen examples of that, but I think that they're trying to avoid the accusation that they're discriminating against someone for like a mental illness, which they, in theory, have no control over. And I mean, I guess I see that argument, but none of the social media platforms have, to this day, actually censored her. And it's just kind of ridiculous when you see the double standards of what does get censored.
What's funny
on
is
TikTok and on YouTube, and you see that this is fine.
Skating content, like the type of skating that I do, that content that gets like content warnings is like promoting dangerous activities on TikTok.
It's just ridiculous.
This is promoting dangerous activities.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
How long have you been aware of her existence online?
Oh, well, I was really big into watching YouTubers back in the day when YouTubers were actually fun.
Yeah. Remember that?
When they were
Back in the
actually
day.
fun. And actually surprisingly very controversial. So I remember watching her from pretty early on and seeing that she was skinny back then, but now she's extraordinarily skinny now. And I think she's rebounded a couple of times. And it almost kind of hurts me trying to even talk about it because I don't want to fuel the fire for, like, I know it encourages her when she sees people talking about her body, because that's just something that it mentally takes place when you have an eating disorder.
Yeah.
When you want to be perceived as very small, you feel affirmed when people are shocked and outraged on the internet about your body.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. But it's all anyone talks about in regard to her.
Because she puts out so much content.
And that's, like, in a way, a defense mechanism. Like, you don't have to judge me for anything else other than my appearance if I look this shocking.
I never thought about that. Yeah, like you could, the idea would be like have one shocking thing about you,
But it's
and then just
sad.
have the most insane views in the entire world.
But it's like she used to have such a vibrant personality before. If you look back at her old videos, she had a wider vocabulary and a pretty, like, a sharp sense of humor. And she had, like, this edgy sense of humor. Like, she was part of the emo YouTuber crowd, like, back when My Digital Escape was a thing. And she always got comments concerned about what she looked like, but at least she had other things to offer at the time. And now she's just gotten really kind of brain damaged from all of this, like starvation.
Right.
And you can tell, like, she's not able to answer basic questions or keep her train of thought going on streams.
Yo Pops in the chat, we will get to your super chat later. I'm just letting you know that we take the $20 ones in order as they come. Everything else we get to between segments at the end. So I'm just answering a question in there. Let him know.
Like you were yelling at him a little bit.
Hey bro, calm down. You know, that's that was my dad's ironclad tactic for winning an argument. He'd say something that would, like, you know, like get a rise, because, you know, you're arguing, you're fighting, you're like, hey, why are you yelling? And then I would just get like, I'll tell you why I'm yelling.
You turn into that Key and Peele skit where it's like, you're literally blowing my eardrums out.
Yeah. Maybe my dad watched it. Yeah.
You are screaming right now.
Like, and this kind of goes back to, this was a discussion that we had with this topic mirrors in a way the Britney Spears discussion about who has a right and when to interfere in someone's business when they're doing something that, based on your subjective idea of what is harmful, are committing harmful acts. With Britney Spears, it's that she's dancing around with knives and could fillet her dog or potentially cut herself, which she had cuts on her body, right?
Yeah.
So with this, it's like you're watching someone who has a very clear problem there. That's not what a human being is supposed to look like.
Well, and also the one person that should be intervening with Eugenia Cooney is her mom, except her mom props her up.
Right.
And appears in videos with her.
Her mom tells people the same things. It's all fine. She's fine. She's recovered now. She did the 5150 with, like, she lies just as much as Eugenia does. She's a problem, and she probably lives off of her income too.
And it's fair to point out that social media and the culture we live in, where influencers and you grow to fame on your own with your own niche, it's like, this is a thing.
I think she definitely should be age restricted on these platforms, and I don't think that is a form of interference. I think that would be a fair compromise for all sides here. But I wanted to read some reactions to this clip that was posted on Twitter. It got a lot of views. Tim Poole said, "Police intervention immediately. I'm not libertarian enough to be okay with this. Her behavior has already influenced teenagers in dangerous ways."
Middle MAGA in the responses there, friend of the show, says, "I am libertarian enough. More power to her."
Funnily enough, though, she already had police intervention.
Yep.
Her friends, her YouTube friends. Hold on one second. We got a $20 from Corey Anderson. I say this in the nicest way possible, but Eugenia grosses me out. I cannot look at her. It turns my stomach. The best Taylor Swift song is Begin Again. It's pretty good. Ladies, you look lovely today. Oh, hi, Brett.
I'll take that, I guess. Thank you. I don't look lovely, but that's okay. That's okay. It's not my job to look lovely.
You look dashing. How about that?
Perfect. And all of those are wrong, by the way. I'd Lie is the best Taylor Swift song. Just pointing
It's
out.
unreleased, so that's a pretty
deep cut.
Yeah.
Deep cut.
But yeah, she already got 5150. This was back in like 2018, right? And her YouTube friends, including Jacqueline Glenn, were the ones responsible for that. And she was forced to go to an involuntary care facility, and it didn't stick, obviously. Like, none of the improvements if there were any beyond the surface level stuck with her.
Would we then also, like, if the idea here is to get police involved? Thank you!
Thank you!
Look, I point out all the time. We talk about Nikocado avocado.
Yeah.
I point out that one of my guilty pleasures, one of my favorite content to watch is this girl. It's Gal Who Eats, and she's this skinny. She's beautiful, and she can eat like a Big Mac in one bite.
There's so much disturbing food content.
Competitive eating, right?
And like, I never go search out the YouTube videos, but if she posts something on Instagram, I watch it. Mainly, I look at her and I'm like, how did she get her teeth so white? That's actually the number one question I ask. But she's like, her content, like now.
So you do admit that you enjoy mukbangs?
I like just her videos of and it's like just a burger. I've never gone and sought out the content online, but I don't like look for a lot of weird stuff on the internet. But she like, there's a novelty to it when you see it, because if it was a fat person, it would be disgusting. And I'm willing to admit that I watch it because there's something interesting about the dichotomy. She also points out, she's like, look, I work out every day and I literally only do this for the videos, and she's very open about the fact that this isn't something that's healthy to do all the time, and she makes sure to make that point when she interacts with people online.
Yeah.
But it's still, in a lot of ways, it still projects a bad message when that's the content you're creating. But who are we to tell somebody whether they can make good or content with a bad message? There's plenty of people who would watch our show and say we're not promoting good
The thing
messages.
is, her content doesn't have a message at all.
Yeah, it's more that there's not
It's
exactly
just-
a message. It's just her persona.
Yeah, it's kind of just gore.
Yeah,
almost. It's just like gore content that is allowed for some reason.
She had this one where she goes to like Greece and eats makes the joke where she's just going to eat McDonald's but in Greece.
I bet it's better in Greece.
Oh, I mean, McDonald's is objectively healthier in other countries too.
But they use like real oil or like animal fats to
They
fry.
use like beef tallow.
They probably use beef tallow.
I remember like being kind of like grossed out at first. The first time I ate like a McDonald's burger in Spain, and it took like a day because I was just so used to the gross American version. Yeah, it took like a while to be like, oh, so this is just what it tastes when there's not like even more chemicals that don't need to be added to make it work. Also, you can get beer there when you're
at McDonald's.
Yeah. That was the best part.
Here's a tweet from Keemstar. It says, Eugenia Cooney only got healthy when her friends betrayed her. They invited her to hang and secretly called the police and had her entered against her and her mother's will in a facility. After she gained weight and was healthy, she did a Shane Dawson documentary and blamed her friends for betraying her. The truth is, the real person betraying her was her mother this entire time, and her current state of health is proof of that. I agree with this statement, and I think that evidently Eugenia has decided that it's time to call it quits. Unfortunately, I think she's just in a death spiral right now, and she knows that she's doing it on purpose, because she's purposefully kept it at a manageable level for the last decade. Like, she knows what she's doing. She's aware of what it takes to continue staying alive on like the lowest maintenance possible, and she's decided it's over.
That's so sad.
She's ready
That's so depressing.
to leave this world. Like, I think that she's just made that final decision and she's done.
And there's something scary about the fact that we live in a world now where you as a passive consumer get to like scarily have front row access to that happening to a person, and it's scary.
And people are being really like kind of gruesome about it, but she's in a way sees her own condition in a similarly callous way. So I mean, who are we to talk about like the way you should talk about her condition? She's probably just as glib about it, you know? There's
something really nihilistic about that.
Yeah.
And it's depressing. But these are the darkest, in a lot of ways, the darkest corners of the internet. Like when I post it, it's like finding like this weird middle ground, right? Like we covered Britney Spears yesterday, and we talk about what it means that this lady is just dancing around with knives as her dogs look on frightened. And what does it mean for society? What does it mean for you as an individual? And then today it's memes of her as a hibachi chef. And that really is the name of the game, right? Is that the internet has turned a lot. Now, I could be projecting here because of the job, because of all the topics we cover. But it feels like the internet has turned all generations into an increasingly emotionally dead world. Like we are it's very, very like, it's almost like the people that are offended are lying and everybody else wishes they could get offended, but they can't.
True.
Because like nobody's actually
I like
offended,
that.
but I wish I was. Like I wish I could be offended, but for the most part,
We're
like,
dead inside.
Yeah. And that like I said, that could be weapons grade projection on my part because I have to read these stories all day long every day, and that the average person who isn't terminally online doesn't feel that way. Sure. But it feels like as the culture grows to be a more digital culture, that's the way we're going.
Well, I think
that's
people
scary.
are overstimulated no matter if you're terminally online in our sect of the internet or just in general. People are really overstimulated with a bunch of different tragedy and crazy things going on in the news that, I mean,
Right.
I agree. I think we're all kind of...
What are you supposed to do when you see this video of Eugenia? You scroll.
Oh, it's sad.
It's because you're so
Scroll or you put your phone down.
you're detached, right? Like you're like, oh wow. I mean, but it wasn't really all that different in the past, right? People would watch the news. My dad would come home and watch the news, and I forget, like, because I never came home from someplace and watched the news. But every one of our family members, if they came home from work and they turned the news on, it's like so and so was murdered in North Minneapolis, and they're like, wow, that's sad. And then you turn the TV off and you go make dinner.
Oh yeah, it makes me think of like
Running tallies of death tolls in Iraq and Afghanistan on the news for a while.
with the death of
submersible countdowns.
oh my god.
I forgot about the submersible countdown. Like that was actually the perfect example of how to distinguish the difference between all this, because I found it egregious that people celebrated their death but had no problem laughing at memes about the sub. Which is a weird...
Isn't that a coping mechanism?
It's a weird, like there was a ton of videos that I found to be unbelievably funny, but something about people like laughing, like these rich people deserve to die because they're gluttonous pigs who have too much money, that somehow felt more real to me and offensive, if dare I use that term.
Yeah.
But the idea that somebody would make a video with a song called Submarine, where it's a guy rapping about having a PlayStation, having an Xbox in the submarine as it's going down, that was somehow okay. And I can't explain to you in good conscience why I thought one was okay and one wasn't.
$20 one from the Ninja from Pop Culture Planet said, I'm glad to know that now, sir. Or what? I'm glad to know that now, sir, but thanks for ruining a joke. Mary, my grandma always prayed the St. Michael prayer before bed when I was a child. Bless her heart.
What's the St. Michael prayer?
Well, there's a prayer to St. Michael for protection, spiritual protection. I don't know if I should just like
See, I was forced.
Should I do that?
My middle name was Anthony, and I lost things constantly, so I had to say St. Anthony all the time because I was always losing everything.
Is there a specific prayer to St. Anthony?
St. Anthony, please come around. Something is lost that must be found. So I would have to say that.
I never heard that.
I would have to say that constantly because I was always misplacing everything I owned all the time. Eventually, you find your keys in the microwave, and you have no idea why.
Can't put metal in the microwave.
I didn't ever.
That's a bad idea.
That didn't ever actually happen. But the point is, you'd find your stuff in weird places, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It's gallows humor is I think going to get worse and worse in the culture because it is a coping mechanism. It's a coping mechanism because back in the day, your parents came home and got bad news for 20 minutes. While watching the 5 o'clock news. Now you are inundated with bad news all day, every day on your phone.
Right.
And that is just a coping mechanism to deal with it. So let's go to with that being said, let's go to Super Chats.
Dark note. Grofty said, sneak up to the like button and yell in its ear like a chicken, but not so loud to damage its ears.
I don't want to damage anyone's ears. I've already got one that doesn't work.
Let's jump right in at 44 minutes in, LOL.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't what did you say the longest we've gone?
We've done worse. We've done over an hour into the show, probably like an hour and 10 minutes. Soreko Productions said, thanks for sharing Luna once again. You're welcome.
You're very happy to do so.
Which Luna? Is that the cat or the dog?
The dog.
Loved the dog.
Let's do one more.
Quite Blackpilled said, Chair, what is your take on Taylor Swift?
Chair? Thoughts? The chair's not even in the shot.
That kind of ruins
Oops.
There we go. Chair,
I think the chair is shy.
It's not feeling very talkative today.
Yeah.
That's okay. All right, let's go ahead and move on, Mary. We've got emotional support Barbies, do we not?
If you thought we were done talking about the cultural impact of the Barbie movie, you were so wrong.
We're just going to be the Barbie and the Taylor Swift podcast.
Yeah, that's just all we're going to talk about now. So the Barbie movie has inspired adult women and men to start carrying around their own emotional support dolls because this country is in a mental health crisis. That's the least of our worries. But I saw this video from Mattel employees that said this is your sign to get an emotional support Barbie, like where you take it to work, you put it in your cubicle, you dress it up, maybe you get multiple and you play with them together. It's very infantilizing.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the point of it, right? And
Yeah.
it's consumer culture as well.
But like, why does that tap into someone's emotions? Because I can understand why an emotional support animal works, or like why maybe a kid wants to walk around with a
Right.
stuffed animal because, you know, it's soft and cuddly. But what does it say about culture that people seek emotional support from a Barbie doll?
Did you watch the Barbie movie?
I did not.
Okay, good for you.
I've stayed out of it.
I think that's a green flag.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's of all the days I don't see Doll Click in the chat to get Doll
But
Click's opinion.
in the movie, since you didn't watch it,
Yeah.
there is a human character in the real world playing with Barbie,
Okay.
and she is imbuing her negative emotion and her menopausal anxieties onto the Barbie and breaks her sense of like Barbie worlds. Like she breaks her matrix essentially, and she has to go to the real world to resolve it. That's maybe they identify with that character from the movie and want to be the 45-year-old woman playing with a Barbie doll to work out their problems.
I did see an emotional support pig once at work, at a job I had.
There is like an official designation for emotional support animals.
Yes,
Not
and
the same as service
There was
animals,
there was the peacock on the plane recently. Did you see the guy who brought the peacock on the plane?
No.
Yes.
That's gross. I'm sorry.
I never double checked. It could have been like, because if you notice, there's been this like we've been inundated with fake videos now of like moms storming into their kids' classroom, and there's also been a couple on planes. So I didn't know whether that one was fake or not, so I didn't pull it up. But yeah, I saw an emotional support pig once when I worked at Target back in the day.
That's not a service animal, and businesses are not required to allow those
Nobody
animals
said
in.
anything,
but
because
they fake it. They put a fake service animal tag on them, and you can't say anything.
I've known a few people who have put fake vests on their.
I've seen service animal in training vests.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, deceiving. But let's watch this video of the Mattel employees and their emotional support dolls.
Here we go.
I have 2 emotional support Barbies. I'm obsessed with Fashion Fever right now.
The Dia de Muertos Barbie because she reminds me of my mom and all of my family.
This is my emotional support Barbie because from my childhood, and also
She's saying like she broke her leg a lot as a kid, therefore it's...
She just likes clicking. He has an emotional support
from my daughter, and it makes me happy.
I mean, getting one from your daughter is like, that's like a
different.
gift. That's not the same thing. Hair goals, ladies and gentlemen. Trying to get that dude's hair.
If you could be anything, why not be the president?
I think there's a point here where it's like there's a difference between like something that you just like and like somebody carrying it around because they start having panic attacks.
Yeah, is this actually authentic? Like, are these people actually saying they?
Well,
all of
I
these
think
people
that
carry
because they work for Mattel, they were told to make this video and promote this idea to other people who are going to watch it and think of this as like a holistic remedy to their anxiety problems, because that is a huge issue in young people today, is social anxiety.
Like And there's just like, I guess we're not exactly promoting the idea that you could be mentally stable enough to not need the emotional support,
Right.
Barbie.
Yeah.
That's a problem. Like I said, like one of my biggest problems in society right now, I don't know if this is the hottest take I have, but I think there's like an over emphasis on therapy, and they've almost turned therapy into this buzzword where it's the end all be all of fixing everything.
Right.
Men will do anything except for go to therapy.
It's
Women
church, but in the secular world, like going to therapy is going to church or going to confession.
And I'm not.
But
That's
for
not
people
me.
who would rather worship themselves and also just the whole priesthood of psychology instead of traditional religion.
Yeah, and like to me, there's a $20 one there from Leonardo DiCaprio.
This one says,
Got it?
I haven't seen it yet. Is it a cope because of all the things which are thrown at us, or is it unreasonable of the people bringing up the issues to expect investment on our part? If I can't change it, I can't care. That's a path to insanity.
If I can't change it, I can't care.
Wait, what is a cope?
Are we talking about? I think he's talking more about what we were talking
Eugenia,
about.
right?
Yeah, like about our indifference to things on the internet now. In a lot of ways, yeah, I would agree that it's like, look, I can't do anything about it. Therefore, like, why would I get invested?
Yeah.
It's the way of the world now, because you're looking at almost everything from the outside looking in. Back in the day, everything that you experienced, like whether you were close to them or not, you were still seeing somebody in the real world, so you had to be more invested than somebody on the internet, right? Like you're gonna have more impact talking to a person you work with every day, even if you don't hang out outside of work. They're gonna have a direct impact on your life in a way that somebody that you talk to on a regular basis on the internet wouldn't.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. And I think that there's just disconnects there that we as human beings weren't really designed for. Like, I don't think we were you weren't designed as a human being to hear what everybody thinks about you all at once. How many times in your life do you actually have like uncomfortable conversations that critique who you are or what you do? Like, you get a work evaluation like a couple of times a year, and your mom might say, get better grades. But other than that, so it's why people talk about why they can't read the comment section if they have like I don't read the comments. There's no emotional bandwidth possible to be able to read everything that somebody has to say about me, care deeply about it, take every piece of it as valid criticism, which first of all, you'd have to distinguish what is valid criticism and what isn't valid criticism. And the only real answer is to just not pay attention and do what you're going to do, because we as human beings weren't designed to have that much input all the time. At least I don't think we were.
Right.
So the only way to do it is to just not care, not pay attention. No. But yeah,
I mean, the way that you do it, the way you take criticism is to get it from people who know you in person.
Exactly. Exactly.
Actually, know you as a person, that they're able to criticize you from a good place.
Intro waves in the chat says emotional support pancakes. That I support.
Emotional eating.
Emotional support French toast
by Brett Dasvik.
And I will say that there's something to this, because there's a great meme that says like emotional support television show. It's the show you've seen 500 times and you can always watch it. It's got 7 seasons and you can just put it on in the background. And they say that people with ADHD they do that a lot because it's comforting to them to know what happens next. So it might work in similar ways on their brain. Right? The way that works for somebody with ADHD.
I don't have ADHD, but I rewatch shows a lot, and it's because all the new shows are bad.
There's a $20 one there from Ryle Kittenhouse.
Xfinity is giving me free Peacock, and Brett continues to not miss. That Ben Affleck movie was good. He was a good Batman, and Lauren Boebert is hot. Gonna watch House now because it's on Peacock. Hello, Andrea.
Hi.
Yes, Peacock is a hidden gem in the streaming market, ladies and gentlemen. Nobody else has it because why would you have it? Let's face it. And in that movie was good.
Do more people stream on Peacock than on Apple TV Plus?
I have no idea. That's a very good question. But somebody in the chat.
How many beverages does Mary have? I have 2 emotional support beverages. I am actually in favor of emotional support beverages. My access to interesting beverages completely controls my mood in life.
Unfortunately.
It's just the way it is.
just
I'm
the way it is.
sorry.
I think I have emotional support chewing gum.
There you go.
We all have our vices.
So, well, somebody earlier said, Brett, did you give up one addiction for another soda? And I said, yes.
Oh, I definitely have emotional
Yes.
support zins.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, who are we to really talk? I, again, am criticizing these people with a chorus of stuffed animals behind me right now.
Yeah.
They belong to me.
There's also something to be said about the cynical nature of Mattel being like, get your own emotional
Right.
support Barbie.
Because you're a mess, aren't you?
Capitalism, baby.
Because you're miserable.
At least I'm choosing to carry a pack of gum with me every day. Like, it's not someone marketing to me and going
Right.
like, this is going to validate your identity. This Barbie that looks just like you.
Somebody in the chat says emotional support meth. No, don't do it, my friend. Don't do it.
You know what? You're right about the Barbies looking just like them. A lot of them chose Barbies that were the same race as them. And one of them even got the Dia de los Muertos Barbie because it's like, oh, my Mexican heritage is like validated by this product made by Mattel.
It's really funny because
And-
we've been. Oh, God.
Well, I mean, I just think that the Bratz dolls get a bad rap because they were more diverse than the Barbies ever were.
True.
Do you have any Bratz dolls?
I had Bratz. I had a lot of Polly Pockets. I was
American
also
Girl?
an American Girl doll type of gal.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is supposed to be how this is supposed to be taken, but you look like a young woman who would have an American Girl doll growing up.
You definitely look
that.
like either a Samantha or a Felicity girl.
I don't know what that means, but I know what American Girl dolls
I had
are.
Samantha. Did not have Felicity.
Okay.
Also Kit.
Oh, yeah. Felicity was definitely my favorite.
That's fair. That's valid.
Part of what you said is true, though. Like Mattel selling this as a product, and then people being like, it's so weird how what our relationships are now with these corporations. Because I've been watching writers trash Hollywood all week, trash these studios. They're like, I hate you, but will you please hire me to do work?
Right.
They're like, you're evil.
I hate you. Give me money.
You're evil, greedy bastards. Give me your money.
Yeah.
Like
I deserve it.
There's a weird culture now where people both hate these corporations, but they can't see legitimacy in anything but the corporations.
Right.
You know what? That's also how women treat men these days.
How so?
They hate men, but also want men to give them money and attention.
Will you? Well, yeah, it's like, he better take me out on the first date and pay for everything. And
That piece of shit.
You freaking loser.
You better treat me like royalty.
They're like, he paid for the first date and he was polite. What a mama's boy he was. Like, I don't want none of that. But then they do. Yeah, you women, impossible to figure out. Nobody can. Women, am I right, guys?
Well, Mattel made $1 billion off of us.
Well, and they did, right? Like when we went to that movie, I was shocked by how much there was just like people dressed in pink.
It was girl groups and girls with their boyfriends dressed in pink, and it was like that for months.
I was probably the only non-gay man there, not there with a like who was there, like not with a
an SO, if you will.
Yeah. Like I was definitely the only straight dude who was there. Who was yeah.
You're like, I swear I'm here because I do a pop culture podcast.
Not just that, but
And it's
like,
really respected.
Not just that, but I like, because I had to dye my hair blonde, I had to make sure to get it done before the movie came out so people wouldn't accuse me of doing it because of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't want that stink on me. No, thank you. Now I got to get it cut again soon.
Can we see it?
It's just hair.
You don't want to show them?
It's fine.
Okay, fine.
So-
We got a $20 one from Rick Bungle. It says, Brett, I watched Hypnotic on your recommendation, and it was so bad I couldn't even finish it. Huge L for you, Brett.
Well, but Ryle Kittenhouse says it wasn't, so I'm back to neutral.
Who are we to trust?
On that one? I liked it. You're wrong, so that's fine.
Okay. Let's go to Super Chats. It's over 9,000 said Taylor Swift is going to turn the Chiefs' kingdom into the Chiefs' queendom.
Ooh.
I mean, until they break up, and then it'll
They
be back to
said
just
she's
being-
going to turn him from a tight end into a wide receiver. Austin Brown said Taylor Swift is the Antichrist, beloved by all.
Did we get to?
You think so?
I wouldn't call Taylor Swift the Antichrist when you have artists like no offense, but Kim Petras and
Yeah.
Sam Smith.
Well, some
and,
people think that Donald Trump is the Antichrist.
He's
But-
too divisive to be the Antichrist.
Right, exactly.
Did we?
Yeah.
Did we get to the one from the guy I mentioned earlier who? Keep going.
I'm still going down in the list. Robert Martinez sent $10 without a message.
Thank you, Robert.
Thanks,
Leonardo
Robert.
DiCaprio said the only reason so many of us know anything about Taylor Swift is because her fans won't give it a break. They're the vegans of the entertainment world.
Ooh.
Good point, but I mean, it's working. The stands get a lot of satisfaction out of like their favorite artists getting enough streams or getting a magazine cover. Like they feel like it's their collective accomplishment.
Yeah.
Charlie Red said, if you are from KC and know who Kelsey is, and the women absolutely love him, out of the NFL, sure, he is nothing. Women in Kansas City will tell you he has Big D energy.
Well, I mean,
no man that's doing a Bud Light commercial and a Pfizer commercial has any of that
Would
going
agree.
on. I'm sorry.
I mean, it is possible though that he's just a mega capitalist and he doesn't care if you get a heart attack or have to drink beer with Dylan Mulvaney's face on it. Wouldn't the right, the capitalist
has no
right,
principles.
wouldn't the capitalist right say, "Yo, man, make your money"?
Does he have bad principles or does he have no principles? Either way, it's kind of a bad choice. DCNC said Clinton should do a documentary about that dog that's a mayor of that town in Minnesota.
Yeah, have you ever seen that? There's a dog there's a dog that was, I don't know if that's still a thing, but yeah, there's a dog that's a mayor of a town in Minnesota.
Wow, I'm moving to Minnesota now.
Well, because the meme was like all politicians are evil. It says like Minnesota. Also, guys, did you see that they caught one of the shooters from like all the other shooters that shot Tupac in the car were dead, but they got the last guy.
Oh.
I'm going to put it on screen here. This came up right as we were going live today. Witness to the 1996 drive-by shooting of Tupac Shakur indicted on murder. How can we not know who the hell was on Epstein's island, but we can solve the murder of Tupac from 1996?
Yeah, I have a feeling that flight log is
A
Good
grand jury
evidence.
indicted Dwayne Davis on one count of murder with a deadly weapon. Clark County Chief Deputy District Attorney Mark Giancomo announced in court on Friday. Davis has long been known to investigators and has himself admitted in interviews in his 2019 tell-all memoir, Compton Street Legend, that he was in the Cadillac from which the gunfire erupted during the September 1996 drive-by shooting. I still remember. That's one of those events where I actually remember where I was when I found out that Tupac died.
and Heath Ledger.
And Heath Ledger, car accident that sucked. Did I ever tell you that?
Yeah.
Like I was driving home from work, and I never worked mornings. I found out in the early afternoon, and I was getting off the freeway, and I hear it on the radio, and just as I hear it, somebody bumps me, and then I get out of the car, and they heard it too on the radio, and we both had heard it at the same time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. Sad.
Yeah, before podcasts and streaming.
Yeah.
That wouldn't happen today.
Let's do one more, and then let's talk about your documentary.
For sure.
Yo Pops said it must be exhausting always rooting for the anti-hero, Mary.
And that was who was early said we're
For
just
Taylor
gonna-
Swift?
It's the song.
Well, I
So,
know,
yeah,
but like
yeah.
for Taylor Swift?
I have no problem. I don't support her. See, again, it's not just about whether you're like supporting or not supporting, or whether you find something offensive or not offensive. I just don't like if Taylor Swift ends up ruining America and we never get a Republican president again, and there's never a Republican candidate because Taylor Swift is now a political figure.
She becomes president, starts throwing us in.
Yeah, is that
gulags.
what Newsom meant about her having like a big role in the next election? Is she gonna be running or something?
She's not old enough yet. She's only 33.
Next one?
Next one.
Okay.
Yeah.
She'll get them.
Let's go ahead and let's talk about you, and let's talk about your documentary, because you've been writing for quite a while. You write for Evie, you write for a bunch of other publications, but you've just now started working on projects like this.
Yes. So through the Independent Women's Forum, which is my main job, I do write for Evie, of course, as well. But what I typically do, I work in storytelling for IWF, and that's a policy organization focused on women's issues nationwide. We like to spotlight different stories that target certain policy issue areas. For instance, with what happened with Kim Russell, this has to do with a lot of what you're seeing across the nation, where women's the right to essentially be a woman is just kind of being erased, right?
So, who is Kim Russell?
Right. So Kim Russell she was the head women's lacrosse coach at Oberlin College. She had been working for Oberlin since about 2018, and she's been a lacrosse coach for many years. She, at one point, and you would consider her to be like maybe a first, second wave sort of feminist woman. She, at one point, after Leah Thomas won the 500 free and took a title away from Emma Wayant, who was the actual biological female who would have won that title, she reposted an Instagram post that said, "Congratulations to Emma Wayant, the real woman winner."
It wasn't even her post.
It wasn't her post.
Else's.
She put it on her Instagram story, and one of her students screenshotted it and sent it to the athletic director at Oberlin, and it spurred this series of disciplinary meetings where she was basically told, "You're wrong to have these opinions."
They were struggle sessions.
They were like basically Maoist struggle sessions, and so she recorded all of them, and we obtained those recordings from her, and she wanted to speak out on the record after about a year after this happened, because she realized, like, I've come to terms with what's happened. I'm okay with speaking out, and no other coach is doing this right now. No other coach is going on the record. So I met with her a couple months ago. We did this first documentary, which was called Burned at the Stake, which details kind of all of the stuff that led up to what has recently happened. And what recently happened that we highlighted in this new mini documentary is kind of an addendum. Kim, at one point, she had brought in a coach who specialized in women's hormonal cycles. And I'm sorry to all the male listeners, real quick. I'm going to do some period talk real quick.
It is called No More Period Talk.
No More Period Talk.
So,
okay, the thing about a woman's hormonal cycles is that it literally affects every part of your life. Honestly, if you're not on birth control, it's something that's supposed to happen in a 28-day cycle, give or take a couple days. And during certain times of the month, your body just works differently. And so she brought in an expert to try to help her female students, because she was the head women's lacrosse coach.
Right.
Tried to bring in an expert who would help them work on cycle syncing so that they could understand how to exercise differently on different times of the month. This is like ancestral sort of knowledge, right?
I never thought about this. So does the idea of like when you play a game, if you're a women's athlete, do you have to take into account like when your cycle is hitting if you have a game at that time?
I guess a lot of people don't think about that.
That's actually something that the U.S. women's soccer team at one point had said that they were testing out doing period tracking apps so that they could get better. And I know, grimace all you want. Grimace all you want. But it's honestly really important, because what this ultimately means is that we're teaching women that if they don't accept biological truths about their physiology, they are risking their hormonal health, their mental health, their physical health, right? So she was basically told by the administrators, no more period talk. You can't use the word female in any of your communication to the female athletes.
But this is puzzling, because were any of the athletes on her team that she was coaching biological males?
No, not a single one.
So where is this coming from?
Well, so in one of the recordings that we obtained from Kim, the athletic director actually goes and says, like, you know, all these girls fucking hate their periods, and it's such a weird
statement,
right?
To make.
But then the students go on and say that, you know, you have to be sensitive in case there are people who are trans.
Oh, in case the one of the female athletes is closeted trans and believes she is a man.
Yeah.
That's the consideration you're having? Okay. My mind did not even go there.
So it's a lot of things. But basically what ultimately happened is, after Kim reached out to us and she spoke out in this first documentary, which got national coverage, we started working on the second documentary, and all the meanwhile, Oberlin College retaliated against her. They removed her from her position as head women's lacrosse coach.
Yeah.
I mean, it's understandable because of what she did to speak out against them. But they also then siphoned her into a desk job, took her away from her female like any of the female athletes.
Kind of sexist that they gave her desk work, you know.
It's an employee wellness thing. I don't even know what that means.
So it's focused only with the faculty.
Yeah.
She has to stay away from students. She can't be with the students because she was making them feel unsafe for talking about menstrual cycles.
When I watched Burned at the Stake and the recordings of these struggle sessions where they had to sit in a circle, it's so like, we're gonna have to get you to define longhouse for us. But the way that they were sitting in the circle and some of her own teammates, like her own lacrosse players, were there and telling her off and turning their backs on her and betraying her like that to the faculty that have the power to destroy her life.
Yeah.
Have the power to take her way of making a living away from her. The students just totally don't understand the gravity of what they're saying.
No.
And they just shamelessly betrayed her like that. The way that they were talking on that recording was just like so gross.
Oh, and I mean, like the actual struggle sessions are like over an hour long, and I've listened to all of them.
Well, it's like what they did with Gina Carano, right? Where they tried to make her...
But it's worse in person, I'm sure.
But I know that this sort of stuff is happening all across the nation. It's not just Kim.
I almost feel like you'd be more defiant in person than like...
Well, she didn't back down when she was in these struggle sessions. Like
correct.
she still
That's
stood
awful.
for what she believed and what she did.
Correct.
She wasn't like, I'm sorry, I was wrong.
Yeah, she didn't apologize for standing up for women's sports.
And that was the issue. She didn't apologize.
Exactly. They wanted her to write out a formal apology, and she refused because she's like, what do I have to apologize for? This is biological truth. So whether it's saying that, like, Leah Thomas is a man who won against a woman, that's a biological truth. Or whether it's the fact that women should be working in harmony with their bodies and not against it by stunting their hormones, whether that's with, you know, whatever they're doing. But
is it fair to criticize that, like, look, for a lot of these cases, it's the fact that the women in these groups, the students are willing to let this happen, right? So the women are kind of, they're subjugating themselves to this behavior by...
It's like the same argument when we see high crime rates in liberal cities. Well, you voted for that. How can I feel bad for you? But people say the same thing about this. I mean, it almost feels trite to point out these stories right now because they're stacking up. It's just story after story after story. Men in women's spaces victimizing women.
And as long as the women
what
are
is there to say about it? Yeah. You know?
As long as the women are saying, thank you for being so stunning and brave, nothing's going to change.
Right.
Yeah.
We've had some people reach out to us at IWF and say, you know, we think that like all the women need to stage a walkout. Like next time they're, you know, about to start a meet for swimming, stage a walkout. And it's like, I wish something like that could happen, but I don't think you're going to start to see that happen unless you have more adults like Kim speaking out and letting the students know that it's okay to have these beliefs.
You know, it would be crazy if they could get Livy Dunn to just...
Livy Dunn. I don't think that Livy Dunn has many male competitors in gymnastics.
I'm just saying, but if they could get Livy Dunn to talk about the biological truths.
No,
of
it would be
women.
really cool if she did that.
Yeah.
But I
mean,
don't
she
think
never would. She never would.
I don't think she cares.
The NIL money is too good, and she's just she wouldn't do that. do you think that this is something that's going to be that there's going to be more professors speaking out, or do you think that what's happened to this woman is going to squash people from speaking out?
So what's wild is while I was producing this first documentary, I was actually really worried about backlash, and you know, hindsight's 2020. We actually only saw a lot of really positive feedback, especially so in storytelling, we facilitate people being able to actually just go and submit their stories to IWF if they have ever like been the person in a situation like Kim's. Like you can go and type in your story and send it to us. And we've actually received a lot from other coaches and teachers and administrators who are saying, I believe in all of this and I don't know if I'm ready to go on the record yet, but I'm thinking about it. So I think you're going to start to see more.
That would be helpful.
My pessimistic view is that female nature is not suited to speaking out against the status quo. And they're not likely to do anything, even when it personally affects them. When it doesn't personally affect them, they could care less, honestly. But if
Lizzo is very beautiful until you say that you're beautiful like Lizzo.
But if that problem does affect them personally, even then, it is a hurdle to get them to speak out or do anything to stand up for themselves. Because I'm sorry, but like women behave in a way that they can get as much outside affirmation as possible and as much group acceptance as possible and a sense of belonging.
Yeah.
And going against the grain on issues this contentious is not the way to do it in this day and age. Maybe that will change over time with more individuals like this speaking out, but
that's exactly
I have
why
a hard time seeing that anytime soon.
I used to think of it as weaponized empathy, but now I think of it, it's worse. It's weaponized validation, meaning like I was talking to someone earlier who was talking about like how like parents are now giddy to talk about how much they support it when their kids are gay, right? Like, and that's true. And that's like, so like being like loving your child unconditionally is a beautiful thing. But when the idea is that you're doing it for the social validation that comes with telling everyone, look how much I affirm my child is who he or she say they are, you're never going to see change in things like this. And it's like what you were saying, Mary, that I just don't know if the social utility for women is not to go against the grain in these situations. And that's a scary prospect for these types of things. And the ones that end up losing are the young female athletes who want scholarships, are the young women who want to compete against, people within their own, demographic. And that's a sad thing to see like their own empathy, their own desire to be accepting weaponized and used against them.
Well, you want to be tolerant up until a point. I mean, it's not even just with the competition itself, it's the locker rooms, right? It's the bathrooms where like we had a couple storytellers come to us, the Wheeler sisters, Caitlin and Abigail Wheeler, and they spoke out against a biological man who was in their YMCA locker room staring at these young underage girls.
Right.
And no one really, you don't really think about the impact of that until it's actually you in that situation. So I get what you're saying.
But even then, they're terrified to say anything about it.
Yeah.
Because like, I wouldn't want to be perceived as a bad person. You know what it is also? Is like there's like 20 to 30 years of Hollywood making anyone that complains about someone that doesn't look exactly like them out to be a bad person.
A literal Nazi.
Yeah. Like there's so many decades of indoctrination from the public to not say anything about anyone, for lest you be called some type of, like, I miss the days when you were just allowed to be you were just a bad person. You weren't a bad person against specific groups. You were just a bad person.
Yeah.
Right.
It's scary.
I wanted to ask you what you think about, since you brought up locker rooms and bathrooms and things like that, where it's not like there's a competition where an outcome is affected by biological differences. It's more of it's asking more philosophical and metaphysical questions and spiritual questions often. How about, should men be able to compete against women in a chess league or a video game league when theoretically there's no, this is what society has been conditioned to accept, is there's no neurological differences between men and women, that we have the same exact mental capabilities as each other. Therefore, why would there be any difference in how we perform in something like chess?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I haven't thought about that one very much. That's
we're gonna have to start
question.
asking, especially the video game stuff, because I just saw this video of an all-women gaming league.
Okay.
And they were giving interviews about their gaming league, and literally every single one of them was an MTF trans person. Okay. Every single one of them. So, I mean, theoretically, like with the way things are now, you're not supposed to admit that there is any mental difference between men and women. Therefore, why would they perform any differently in video games?
Well, yeah.
And there's also just like the metaphysical principle that, men and women are different, and how dare we have the hubris to decide, who belongs in what category.
Yeah.
Right?
That's really complex. Yeah, I hadn't thought about anything like chess before, but it makes me think of things like, the Queen's Gambit was so popular, and you wouldn't ever say that someone like her shouldn't be able to play against a top male player, right?
Even that, yeah, like it's sort of a corollary from the previous century, I guess.
Yeah, fascinating.
I guess the more questions you ask, the messier this topic gets.
Yep.
All I know is that men are men and women are women, and I don't want to lie about that.
Good for you.
Perfect.
And good for Kim Russell.
All right, we got some super chats. Let's finish up. We got a $20 one there that came in from Derp Caprio. He's very mad that we didn't get to it right away, but I wanted to save it till after we were done with that segment.
Leonardo Derp Caprio said, women's sports, that's something with less viewers than Blue Beetle. Name 5 WNBA teams who won the LPGA tournament last year.
I will say,
women only complain about competition between the sexes when they lose and never win advantage.
There was I posted an amazing clip of this like amazing women's volleyball game where it was like it was incredible, right? This went on for like 5 minutes. And it was ridiculous to see. Now, if they started pushing women's volleyball instead of women's basketball, maybe there would be, because I would have watched. I mean, I don't know if I'd pay money to see it, but I also did. You see the propaganda video where they said like they're like tickets to the New York Liberty or tickets to the Chiefs game on, or to whatever, like to the Jets game on Sunday, and they're like, oh, the Liberty. Oh, and it's like, yeah, they were paid. Like, not a single one of these people is turning down NFL tickets,
right.
Like, or they're feminists, and they're only saying it because they know that the point of it is that they're trying to. There's that famous video where the guy's like, "Would you like 4 tickets to a WNBA game or $1?" And everybody takes the $1. Like. It was just very clearly like a weird
The other day
propaganda.
we asked in a poll, would you pay to see a female comedian's stand-up set?
Well, I probably wouldn't pay to go see most comedians in general because I just don't like stand-up personally. But like, I do find men to be funnier than women, and that's coming from someone who works for 2 literally women-focused organizations. Like, it's nothing against women. It's just men take more risks with humor.
I'm also going to end the poll because I forgot yesterday,
Okay.
ladies and gentlemen. I'm ending the poll, ladies and gentlemen, now that we're in the end of the show. What is the biggest war we are fighting? Right now, they're saying it is the war on Taylor Swift.
I voted the war on Christmas. Remember when they
25% say the war on drugs, 24% say the war on Christmas, and just 10% say the war on terror. That's that's the problem here. We got to shore up the border and got to get those troops back to the Middle East, according to that 10% right there. We need to. We aren't dropping enough bombs, is what they're saying. That's what they're saying.
Remember when they stripped the Starbucks cups of Christmas decorations and they just made them plain red?
Think about what they took from you.
We used to be a country.
We used to be. Oh.
Then they took the red cups away.
We used to be a country.
Replaced those too.
It's very sad.
Dave Gazuli said, "LOL, you're totally right. My bad." Right about what? I don't remember what we were talking about.
We're right about everything.
I guess I'll just take that for everything we were talking about. Thank you. Heavy Burn Man said Taylor Swift is the Antichrist.
I'm trying to find this one.
I've seen other people say she's descended from that famous Satanist lady.
I can't think of who is
Abramovich?
I actually wonder if there's if it's even possible to have an Antichrist now, because there's not one person that everyone can agree on. In fact, no, that's not true. Keanu Reeves could be the Antichrist because everybody loves Keanu Reeves.
Okay,
nobody dislikes Keanu Reeves.
People think that Taylor Swift is related to celebrity Satanist Zena LaVey, or she's a clone of her.
Yeah. I don't know who that is.
And they do look almost identical from what I've seen.
Think about it though. Nobody dislikes Keanu Reeves. He could be the Antichrist.
I'm really ambivalent toward him.
Me too.
Yeah.
But do you know anybody who's like a staunch Keanu Reeves?
Keanu Reeves isn't
hater.
Influential enough to be
I don't
the
know.
Antichrist.
Chat. What say you? Could Keanu Reeves be the Antichrist?
An economic genius, a warlord, a political genius, very charismatic, very wealthy, very famous, a blasphemer. All of these things.
They would have said Obama at one point because Obama was, thanks to the media, was almost universally loved. But even then, I don't know if a politician can be the Antichrist because there's automatically a confrontational nature to what they do.
Sure.
I think that the Antichrist will be a one world government politician.
Oh.
But that's just my guess. Who am I to say? That's Danzatastic said Stick Stickly. Yes, I was listening to Stick Stickly in the car yesterday. No joke. I'm going back to all the classics from that era. Shane H. Wilder said she needs some dino nuggies and chalky milk. In all seriousness, weight on either extreme is unhealthy and should not be celebrated nor promoted.
I agree, and that goes back to hormonal health, ladies and gents.
Yeah, guys, worry about your hormonal health.
Worry about your hormonal health.
Do guys have like a lot of
oh yeah, if guys are overweight or underweight, like, you know, Eugenia skinny or like Lizzo obese, amazing.
Thank you.
That affects their testosterone.
Thank you, guys.
I'm sure a lot of it is just because men today are way more sedentary than they were.
Correct.
100 years ago.
Yeah.
That probably has a ton to do with it.
Used to work a lot of harder labor jobs.
Yeah. Corey Anderson said, if Brett wants to be dashing, he needs to show off those golden locks. All the ladies agree. All the ladies agree. If beautiful women were telling me my hair looks great, I would listen.
You know, I don't love these hoes. Like,
wow.
Show off the locks, just not the ankles.
That's a fair
hide the
point.
ankles, show the hair.
That's a shirt somebody needs to release. Hide the ankles, show the hair.
Grofty said, I had the love of my high school life switch to anorexia. It was a horrible experience watching it happen and recovery. She was not the same after. Maybe I have PTSD on that subject now.
I mean, you probably wouldn't be the same after. Like, I mean, I'm fundamentally a very different person than I was before I, got clean.
Yeah.
Before I got sober. I mean, that also is like you're older now too, but like a lot changed in that time period. You don't get to like go through something that emotionally and physically traumatic and not come out somehow a different person.
Shane H. Wilder said, part of my enrollment in the scapular of St. Michael is to pray the prayer to St. Michael every day. It's a good prayer. I agree. Especially every time that we talk about Doja Cat on this podcast. You should probably pray it. Who else? Who else is a suspected witch?
Sam Smith.
Every time we talk about Sam Smith or Kim Petras.
Kim Petras, especially Kim Petras.
Any of those people.
I will say that Doja Cat's music is one of my guilty pleasures. I can't bring myself to listen to Sam Smith or Kim Petras, but like Doja slaps.
It's really funny. Like, yesterday I posted the trailer for Argyle, and I said, I swear I don't just want to see this because Dua Lipa looks super hot. And somebody's like, does she even act? I'm like, you act like I care. Like,
doesn't matter.
I was like, literally doesn't. I'm looking at screenshots right here. I'm not looking at her acting. I'm.
Her music's also one of my pop music guilty pleasures.
I don't think her music is that good.
I don't either, but I don't know why I like it.
It's just the most like generic pop that we have. Today. Shane H. Grofty said, this is cringe real cringe.
Something was a cringe real
I don't know
cringe.
what you were referring to.
Real cringe.
Nathan Koss said, I'm so tired of watching Western Decline set to folksy guitar strumming and rhythmic clapping. When I go to hell, that music will be on a loop.
Very likely true. Something very
what
depressing.
What folksy guitar are we talking about? Oliver Anthony?
Oh no!
No, the worst part is like when you go to hell, it'll actually be like one of these songs that ends up like whatever song is popular on TikTok when you die is what you're stuck listening to the rest of your life.
If it's "Say So" by Doja Cat, you kind of win.
It's like whatever it is, like if it's just some awful song from 2020 and you died in 2020 and you have to listen to "Astronaut in the Ocean" for the rest of your life after dying, that's a sad.
Make a cup of coffee. It'll just be that on loop for eternity. DCNC said, watching boring, unfunny television for emotional support explains the longevity of Friends.
Yeah, I watch boring. I watch boring stuff over and over again because it's and that is actually true. A lot of people who watch Friends, or The Office. I mean,
Comfort show.
I'm not saying that that's unfunny. I'm saying that like people watch those shows over and over and over again.
Well, I mean, like we were saying before, with things that are overstimulating, if you have something that's kind of a little bit more monotonous, it might balance you out and make you feel a little bit more normal, right?
It's like the music picks up in the same place at the same time every episode.
But that's the thing. All the Marvel TV shows are exactly that. They're overstimulating.
Yeah.
It's just like bad CGI getting vomited all over your eyes.
It's not interesting.
The entire time.
It's
yeah.
not interesting.
Shane H. Wilder, DCNC said, as a boy, I talked to my dog about my day at school and stuff like that. Do little girls talk to their dolls like that? I never did, I don't think.
I don't think I
I
talked
thought
to myself.
I think that I thought they were sentient with each other.
Oh.
Just they didn't talk to me.
Yeah.
You're like, they don't like me very much, but they'll talk to each other. They're just ignoring you.
I don't know. I never talked to them. Shane H. Wilder said, is everyone slowly turning into Linus with his blanket? I second Mary on emotional support Zins. And we'll add emotional support coffee. That too. Gotta have my iced coffee and a Zin in the morning, or I'm not functional. Leonardo DiCaprio said, it isn't too hard to understand women, Brett. Just don't waste time listening to what they say. That's the trap. Watch what they do and respond to.
Good advice. Thank you.
Oh. Thanks, Dad.
Yeah, thank you.
Wait, were you asking for women advice?
I didn't ask for women advice. Did I ask for? I don't think I asked.
Remember.
I don't think I asked for any advice on women. But what do I know?
John Stewart said, I remember where I was when Steve Irwin died. What year was that? It was like...
I was super young. I don't know.
What, 2003 or something?
Was it that long ago?
Hold on.
Holy crap.
I remember where I was, but I was like
Where
a
were
little...
you?
I was up in my
I'm sorry.
top bunk bed.
Wasn't
It was
2003.
2006. Sorry.
Even that's... I thought it was like 2012. Holy crap, 2006.
You thought it was 2012? Dude, that's like a way off. Yeah.
Once you graduate high school, it all just starts running together.
September 4th, 2006. Yeah. It's been a while. Grofty said hostage territory.
We are in hostage territory. We are in hostage territory right now. If we get 5 crisis parties, it would be due to a hostage crisis going on.
Do we need to like leverage anything? I don't know.
I'm not dyeing my hair again. At least not.
Marco said, Mary, sing Ave Maria this Christmas.
Do you sing?
I mean, not on YouTube, that's for sure.
That's okay.
How much money would they have to give us?
For what? The 5th crisis party?
You got to get to 15 crisis parties in this episode if you want that.
For Mary to sing?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It is a lot. Grofty said the struggle session. That term makes me laugh.
Why does that make you?
I don't know. Bang Bang Lulu sent $2 without a message.
Thank you.
DCNC said, Brett, Australian films you must watch. Two Hands, Heath Ledger, Chopper, Eric Bana, Romper Stomper, Russell Crowe, Angel Baby, Shame, Hugh Jackman's wife.
Ex-wife
Gallipoli.
now.
Is it Gallipoli?
Gallipoli.
Mel Gibson.
Gallipoli was a... I think I might have seen that one. With Mel Gibson.
Well, if you're not sure, you might as well rewatch it.
Yeah.
The ninja from Pop Culture Planet said, just so you know, space government is like Germany, but without the mustache.
Whatever happened to Space Force? That was a letdown.
I think it's still
I have no
there.
idea what the super chat means.
Yeah. Whatever happened to Space Force?
I think it's still there.
Is it still there?
Yeah.
They have laptop jobs. It's fine.
Perfect.
DCNC said, shout out for Olivia Chair's show tonight, please.
That's cool, bruh. Like, yeah, what is that? What you didn't give a time, a date, a channel? Like, we would need more information for this to be effective.
Shane H. Wilder said, I had a very liberal female coworker run into an existential crisis when she was at the gym, and a man in a dress walked in. She felt bad for feeling uncomfortable that he was in there.
Ladies,
weaponized
don't feel bad.
empathy.
Again, like, if you're at a gym and you're a woman, would you ever go there in a dress? No.
No.
So why is he? He's just there to be a spectator.
Right.
Corey Anderson said, Brett, I don't love these hoes. Dasovic, King of Kings, move over. Council of Claire's.
Exactly.
He don't love these hoes.
1, 2, 3 from that Danzatastic with no
Hostage,
message.
crisis, party.
That's what
is
we're in
they
right
said.
now. DC and C.
Further thoughts from the chair?
I have no idea what what do you think the chair thinks about women's spaces being invaded? I have no idea. Nothing.
Radio silence. I'm offended.
Frankly, it's not. Yeah, they're not sending their best for
They're
Chair
not
4
sending their
today.
best chairs.
That's not good. We got some more?
Grofty said, have a wonderful weekend, people. Thanks to everyone here.
No, thank you, Grofty.
Yeah, thank you.
Nathan Koss said the Mattel commercial, corporate commercials in Gen. I don't know what that means.
I guess just
in general.
In general, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh. Corey Anderson said, in heaven, they play Secondhand Serenade on repeat. Y'all mock them, but they are Big J's favorite.
They play Secondhand Serenade on repeat in heaven. I feel like heaven, you'd have your own choice of what music gets played.
It's just Handel's Messiah for me. The whole thing.
What about you,
How
Mary?
about silence?
Is that what you
Actually,
like?
no, it's going to be Catholic lo-fi.
Yes.
Catholic lo-fi on repeat.
I just discovered Catholic lo-fi this week.
Oh, good for you.
I had never heard Catholic lo-fi before.
We put him on that.
Typically, I would just type in Gregorian chants.
I think Britney Spears is in her house dancing with knives to Catholic lo-fi.
I would.
Greg Duvier said Mary should color her hair black or red.
Would you ever do that?
I've already done it in the past.
I'll never forget. Mary once showed me a picture of her with black hair, and I got extremely uncomfortable.
I had black hair for quite a while.
I've had green hair.
Oh.
Yeah, I think I saw a picture you showed me.
Yeah.
Yeah, not
my best look. Not my best look.
But it wasn't bad.
It was. I won't go back to that ever again.
Yeah,
but it's the teenage phase. You just do those sort of things. You go green, you go purple,
black, and my roots it was all red.
Oh, fun.
So the rest was black. But
Okay.
I wouldn't do that again because I have just invested too much money and time into what I've got going on now.
Mm-hmm.
High Voltage 75 said, Mary, opinion on Carrie Underwood. Her music is not my cup of tea, but I always thought she was more attractive and a better singer than Taylor. Well, she's not really a competitor with Taylor anymore because she's country. Taylor Swift is not country anymore.
Was she the one who released that song like When He Cheats or Because He Cheats, where it's basically just about vandalizing before he cheats? It's just about like vandalizing his car.
No, it's a great song.
Yeah.
It's a great song. Like I don't know if it's an endorsement, but no, yeah, she's great. Shane H. Wilder said, Brett, you need the frosted tips for your boy band, the Brett Street Boys. Sorry, not sorry.
Amazing.
And NSYNC just came back. Maybe you should audition.
Yes, they had their first song released since like 2001.
Wow.
Maybe and then they got like shafted too.
Can
'cause
you
it
be
says,
the
it says
tambourine player?
I could do that. I'll do like knee slaps. I'll do knee slaps. I'll do knee slaps.
Yeah.
Just be like the guy that struts in the background.
No, you can be the hype man.
Yes.
Everyone needs a hype man.
There's this Trevor Wallace has this great ongoing skit where he pretends to be the third member of the Chainsmokers, and like he comes out. He would like come out with them on stage and just like I'm the third member of the Chainsmokers, and they're like, we don't know who this guy is.
You could tell anyone that, and
Yeah.
they'd have to believe you.
Yep.
Shane H. Corey Anderson said, Andrea looks like Amanda Milius.
Oh, what a nice compliment. She's beautiful.
I was like, I didn't. There's Amanda Milius right there.
The director.
Yes.
I wasn't familiar.
And this is on the Independent Women's Forum.
There she is.
Okay, I guess
Technically,
IWF has a type.
Well, so she doesn't work for IWF.
You guys kind
but
of look like you could be related. I don't know.
I take that as a compliment.
Yeah.
She's really cool.
There you go.
Josh sent $1 without a message, and then he said, Andrea is hella cute.
Thank you.
Grofty said, chicken looking confused.
We are dangerously close to
Is that really what he said?
We are but a couple of dollars from a fifth crisis party, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting there.
Dangerously
We
close.
are getting there, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Grofty, for that. And chicken looking confused is. I've been seeing so many weird videos about chickens lately too. Like
going in circles?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
You've been getting those too?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Are they targeting us?
I don't know why that is. I like my Instagram. I get weird.
Chickens going in circles?
Yeah, chickens going in circles. I don't know what it is.
Like it's an individual chicken spinning.
Also, have you seen the? Have you ever seen the videos? Have you ever seen the videos about the guy who remakes movies, but he puts cats? He puts his cat in there. So it's the one of like of Titanic, but it's his cat instead of her. Instead of Rose.
No.
Have you ever seen that? He just re-edits movies and puts his cat in there. And
easy money.
Yeah. And then he did one. And oh man, I'm in the wrong screen there. And then he would do one with like. But yeah, I saw another one similar to that where they put a scene in a movie and they replaced it with chickens.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
Chickens going in circles.
I thought it was like something
That's ominous.
I don't know what it is.
Okay.
Here's the video if nobody ever saw this.
So you want to go to a real party?
Wait, what?
Owl Kitty.
I figure life's a gift, and I don't intend on wasting it.
Glad to, miss.
Got everything I need right here with me.
Hey, look.
I would actually watch Titanic if this was what it was.
No, we're gonna get copyrighted to shit on that one. Holy shit! I mean, we got a bunch.
Damn you, Celine Dion.
Look at that.
Oh, so cute.
Oh my god.
Paint me like one of your French cats.
Yes.
That's wonderful editing.
This is great.
Owl Kitty's
See, this is
Titanic.
like why the internet should still exist.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Okay. That improved my mood significantly.
Happy to help, ladies and gentlemen. Go find Owl Kitty on Instagram and on YouTube. He's got 2.4 million subscribers.
Shane H. Wilder said, "No one tell Brett that there is actually Catholic death metal. Not my cup of tea, but it exists."
I will have to go and death metal.
I don't think you're really into death metal.
I wasn't really like a death metal person. No, the closest I got with nothing in that genre. I like stuff that's not death metal. I like the Deftones. I like, but not death metal or anything like that.
High Voltage
Pentagram
75 said 5 parties and Mary does Britney's knife dance in the outro cam today.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm not agreeing to that. No, thank you.
Plus, we don't have any prop knives here, so how would we do it anyways?
I don't even know what her knife dance is. I haven't learned it, so.
Thank you.
Sorenko Productions said Catholic Lo-Fi to catechumen candidate pipeline. Yeah, we're trying it on Brett. We'll see. Carnell said, I have a poll for the chat. Would you rather date a woman with an OF, a mega pop star with a rabid fan base who most likely will make an album about your failed relationship, or date Britney Spears?
Oh, that's a lot of liabilities.
Which one?
You can reform the OnlyFans girl, though.
Brett.
I firmly believe in that.
A woman with an
what do you
OnlyFans,
say?
a mega pop star with a rabid fan base.
Basically, OF girl, Taylor Swift or Britney Spears. You don't have the option to stay single.
Taylor Swift.
Yeah. You don't, I mean, why do you care if she makes an album about you? That's cool.
Yeah. Like
you have bragging rights for the rest of your
I
life.
guess like I would just frame
Especially
it.
if you really screw her over.
I would just, then the goal is, it's like, I don't just want to be one of her mediocre comeback songs. I want to be the meanest one she can write. So I better give her something to write about.
Hey.
So you do something horrible. You like purposely make her late for shows. You emotionally, you're like, look, if you loved me, you would skip your show in Rio de Janeiro tonight. Look, I get it. Yeah, sure, thousands of screaming fans, but I guess I don't matter. I guess you care more about those thousands of screaming fans because
there's literally
they
a
paid money.
video. There's a video of Paris Hilton with her boyfriend where he's actually saying that. Like, if you loved me, you wouldn't do this DJ set.
See, that's what I would do. I would be like, look,
how romantic.
I'm like, oh, I get it. A screaming like extreme, like theater full of fans, a stadium full of fans matters more to you than somebody who's given his life and love to you.
She would turn it around on you. She'd be like, if you really loved me, then you wouldn't go on Pop Culture Crisis today. You would spend your day with me.
I would say, I'd be like, I think you need to look up gaslighting in the dictionary because this is disgusting. Every time I need to go to work, you do this, Taylor, and I see it coming. I know I should just ignore you, but I can't because you just have such a hold on me. It's disgusting. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Wow, you're kind of getting into character.
There we go.
DCNC said, Andrea, great guest.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Shane H. Wilder said, oh, Mary, I already memed him as all the members of Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. Yeah, I think I saw that.
Yes, I was turned into all the members of, yeah.
It's kind of scary.
And I said, this is literally the only time you will ever catch me dancing, ever.
Okay.
Ever. And then I think Jessica said, like, what about at your wedding? And I said, we'll have to worry about that one when we get there. But until then, we'll cross that bridge. We'll dance across that bridge when we get to it. But until then,
you don't have to be dancing at your wedding.
Get Matt Walsh to teach you the passion of dance.
Perfect.
He'll teach you the love of dance.
That'd be perfect.
James Orenthal Wen said, if I squint, y'all could be third cousins. Leonardo DiCaprio said, do you warn Friday guests that you'll run late? Well, sometimes we do. Sometimes we don't. There's no way for us to know.
They really don't. Like, some days it doesn't. Some days it really is. Guys, why don't you, the chat, warn the guests that we're going to be late? Because if it's late, it's because you guys are engaged in the show and you're talking to us through these chats. So it would actually be your job to warn the guest that we're going to be late, not our job. It's your job.
Also, insinuating that I don't watch this show regularly and understand how these things work.
She knows the deal. King New Jersey said, ladies found men with net worth, not with 5 million. What?
I don't get the chat, but that's another reason to, like, see if you can wife up Taylor Swift real quick. You're gonna make a lot of money on the outset.
Wait, what?
Like, I'm talking about the chat earlier about, like, which one of those women, like Britney Spears to Sam Asghari's not getting any money out of that divorce.
Oh, Taylor Swift would get an ironclad prenup.
You gotta get into it quick and see if she's not a rash decision maker though. You might be able to convince Britney to do like a Vegas wedding before the prenup can be written, but Taylor Swift is not gonna do that.
Right. True. Leonardo DiCaprio said, so did the cat let him on the door? We must know. There was finally room for Jack on the door.
Yes, because of the cat. And actually, that's in the trailer. If you check here, he's still off he's still off to the side.
That's cute.
Owl Kitty rules.
High Voltage 75 said, can't stay too late. Brett's got a date with a colonel.
That is true, guys. I will be live with Colonel Kurtz tonight at 9 p.m. We're going to be talking about the Marilyn Manson settlement. We're going to be talking about Johnny Depp. We're going to be talking about, I think there might be some Danny Masterson stuff to do with Bijou Phillips, and also some stuff to do, of course, with Russell Brand, all sorts of fun stuff. Me and her have a lot of fun talking on Friday nights. Like the other night, they devolved into talking about the movie American Gangster for 15 minutes, which I really enjoyed. So.
All right, that's all the super chats.
We got
at least for now.
We got one more here from Shane H. Wilder. Says the
best owl kitty is Jurassic.
Yes, yeah, with gigantic kitty.
Oh, I'm into that.
And then there's one more there from The Last of My Kind.
Oh, don't fight alligators underwater. Elon Cross.
Perfect.
Wait, what? Did he give advice to someone?
And then one more from Leonardo DiCaprio.
Like.
Says,
what?
Captain America.
I can do this all day.
I can do this all day. All right, guys, before we go, hit the like button on this video. Subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already. Turn the notification bell on so you can be informed anytime an episode goes live or a segment goes up. Thank you so much, Andrea.
Thank you for having me on.
Can you tell us where everyone can find your work?
Absolutely. My handle on everything is just Andrea J. Mew. If you're looking for the documentary I was talking about, that's iwf.org. And then I'm also a writer with EV Magazine, so go ahead and check us out. We're a really great magazine.
I have a question.
Yes.
What is the best Pokemon joke you've heard about your name?
Oh, no, it's not really jokes that I get. I just get people who make the constant comparison going, oh, like Mew? Like Mewtwo? That's about it.
And they all look super self-satisfied when they do it.
They think it's the first person that's ever said it before when it's been done a million times.
Well, do you crush them and say that's been done before, or do you always entertain them and say, oh, that was so clever?
I'm a polite gal. I'm not going to crush them if I don't know them.
Perfect. All right, Mary, we got a couple more there.
DC&C said hostage party, and High Voltage 75 said, Andrea, you said you own a boa, but have you ever felt... Wait, I don't know what this...
You can skip that one, Mary. For your own sensibilities, it's fine. And then one more there from Grofty. No, one from Derp Caprio
There's
and
more
one from
than
Grofty.
that, but they're not showing up on my screen.
Okay, so Derp Caprio says, not fast enough, essay. I didn't say it, he said it. And Grofty says, what? Where are you going? Mary, quickly, tell everyone know where they can find you.
Okay, my Twitter and Instagram are Mary Archived. Bye.
Perfect. Guys, if you want to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram and Twix at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. Pop Culture Crisis is here Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is noon Pacific. If you'd like to listen to the audio version of this podcast, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify. And if you'd like to follow the show on social media, we are on Twix at PopCulture_show, Facebook and TikTok at Pop Culture Crisis, Instagram at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. And then DC&C says Leonardo DiCaprio writes, Grofty writes, High Voltage writes, High Voltage 75 writes, all of them write, apparently. Guys,
I never say writes, I always say says.
We will be back with another episode on Monday. We'll see you then, guys.
Bye-bye.
Later.